got different views and angles, so I can go like this, I can go like this, I can go like this, or I can
Oh
get
yeah, we in there.
yeah, I can share my screen, and you know what I'm saying. We can both be in the screen still, or we can do all kinds of stuff. So I just wanted to do this shit because it records the streams and shit too, so we can clip them easier. We can do a bunch of stuff easier. So I think that this is how I want to go with the streams. But it's just about getting adjusted to the software because I didn't know what I was doing. So remember last time I tried doing this, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So
there we go. That's the right light.
And now we're on Twitch and we're on Twitch and YouTube too. So that's dope, is dope. So you know what I'm saying? If you're hopping up in here, what is goody? We'll get both. I gotta get both my pieces of stream information up, you know what I'm saying? So what's good with you, my dude? What are you doing lately, man? What's popping? Let me go ahead and give an introduction. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody who doesn't know, this is my guy, Goldeneye. He's a real one. This dude is a straight hip hopper. He was in a group with most of you guys know, 2 Cypher, called All Pro back in the day. Y'all have the channel, so you already know me and 2 Cypher are like cool on the other side of the pillow. Me and this nigga Goldeneye cool on the other side of the pillow too. Goldeneye is one of the niggas in my life that makes me realize I might be doper than I think I am, because like he's just somebody that knows your life and your struggle. And he's just seen a lot of shit that I've done. He knows me, and so sometimes we be getting into these realms where we know what we've done and what we've accomplished, but nobody else is, because none of my target audience is Omaha or nothing like that. So I mean, I just want to give you your flowers too, bro. Sometimes whether you realize it or not, you be making my days when you be bringing up old school shit or talking about shit. Yeah, that shit. That's some real shit. So this is my guy Goldeneye. What's up, man? Say what's up to the people, Goldeneye.
What's good? What's good? In the building. That's the reason why I'm gonna call my second album, where the years go, my third album, Exulances. Because that's the feeling of having a memory that's so out there, that's so wild, that even when you think back on it, it's like, damn, did that really happen?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It be like that sometimes. We just thinking back on this album, and man, until I pulled it up again and listened to it and looked at the track list, I wasn't giving it all the credit that I'm gonna give it now. You know what I'm saying? Because we was talking about that Apple thing, and I just pulled up the track list from Miseducation. It's a run on there that's nuts, like legendary nuts. I'm not gonna say top album of all time, though. That's kind of crazy. But after looking at that track list, it's a run on there that got me thinking, like, I could maybe see why somebody might say that. Maybe.
Okay.
A little.
I'll be right back. Let me go grab something real quick. All right, so you know what I'm saying? I got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I own this bitch, and it's on display in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that is definitely one album that is better.
Yeah,
that's definitely one album that is better.
So
you know what I'm saying?
It can't do for me is you can't tell me, because this is what I was talking to you about shortly before I called you. Bro, look at the B side of this album. The B side,
that's crazy.
Gene, Human Nature, PYT, and Lady in My Life.
That's what I was gonna say. My favorite joint off that album is Human Nature.
Bro, and it's a B-side.
Human Nature is bananas.
My favorite shit, because I'm a jiggy ass nigga, so my favorite shit is gonna be that PYT. That's my favorite song on Thriller is PYT.
That's a strong 2 for me.
I don't think. Yo, that's a strong ass cut. Them are 2 strong cuts, right? I mean, I own Off the Wall. If you knew how many records I owned, you'd be like, damn. I mean,
my favorite Mike album is actually Bad though. Bad is my favorite Mike album, because my favorite Mike joint is Dirty Diana. Excuse me. Yeah.
My favorite Mike album, I go back and forth, but it's gonna be Thriller, because PYT is like one of my favorite Michael Jackson songs. That, Blame It on the Boogie, those are like my 2 favorite Michael Jackson songs. And
Crazy, right?
yeah,
Oh,
Blame Video is so fire to me. So those are my
but
two Michael cuts. So I
I
go,
would say when I first heard that Apple called Miseducation the livest album of all time, immediately I put it far away from albums like Thriller. You know what I'm saying? Like my first thought was like nowhere close. Now looking at this track list, I would say I'll definitely not say it's better than either of those two Mike albums. I'll say there's three Mike albums that's definitely better than Miseducation off top. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad about it being in the conversation when I look at that first 5 tracks on the album.
I'm looking at the track list right now for Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And obviously, I'm not going to sit up here in front and be like that top 5, the first 5 songs.
That top 5 is
that's a nasty song, right? Okay. But if we're going to be realistic with ourselves and about how we compare these albums and how we start comparing shit, I don't think that the first 5 on Miseducation is better than the first 5 on Thriller. And I get that
no.
9 songs and this album is 16 songs, but there's nothing on the second half of this Lauryn Hill fucking album that compares to Human Nature, fucking
Except for that one song.
PYT.
What's that one song towards the end? The other motherfucking smash off Miseducation.
Everything is
everything.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't knock that. That's my jam. That's my favorite song on the CD. So like, I'm not gonna knock Everything Is Everything.
Like, yeah, like
that's
I can't put it in the. I can't put it in there with Thriller in them. But now, after re-examining the track list, I'm not mad about it being in the conversation.
So let me
you know
go
what I'm
ahead
saying?
Let me find the list. I'm gonna pull the list up and we'll talk about
man, that Everything Is Everything. Because when you think about it, like I had an interesting experience with that CD. I was real souped up off Lauryn Hill when that CD was about to drop. Not as an R&B head, but as just a strictly hip hop head at the time. I was in my late teens, I think. And so I really wasn't trying to hear nobody sing about nothing at that time in my life. And I had heard her bars. And I don't know what had me thinking that the album was going to be bar heavy, but I went and bought it the first day. And I did not have a nice time with it because she was only rapping on a few joints. You know what I'm saying? And so for a long time, I didn't give that album specifically its just due, just because I had a bad experience with it when it first came out because it wasn't what I personally expected. But over the years, man, like half the songs in that album have ingrained themselves into the DNA of hip hop culture. Like, if we take Mike and Prince and them out the conversation, that album is up there.
It's up there, but I could still put other albums in front of that one. So I want to bring up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to pull up YouTube because the way I'm doing this stream is different tonight. So I need to see if.
Oh, no doubt.
If they can see my screen, because I think I pulled up the list. So I just want to make sure it looks like they can see the list.
I can think of a couple albums in hip hop that I would squarely put in front of it. Bobby Digital and Stereo, I would squarely put in front of Miseducation. That first Bobby Digital album was banana. Man.
Like Bobby, Digi, stuck
to your ass like a Victoria's Secret wiggy.
Yeah, that album is fire. I couldn't put it up there as an all-time album, but I could put it up there for an album.
Just because as a body of work, you can go through that process with him listening to that album. As to where for me, Miseducation is more a sketch pad from an unbelievably talented artist, like her just getting in the studio and vibing out and just showing her skills, as to where Bobby Digital and Stereo is a fucking movie. Like, yo, that's somebody's passion project. Like, it's not the same as somebody who just got all this natural talent and just doo-wopping through an album. Like, that fucking in Stereo is, whew, man, that should take you through places. You know what I'm saying? Same with Iron Man from Ghost. Iron Man is another album that I would put squarely in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Showing my woo bias a little bit.
Sorry,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? Doggy Style, another album I would put in front of it. You know what I'm saying? 8 Balls Lost.
Yo, doggy style. Yo, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Yeah. So I don't know why it's not sharing the screen like it's supposed to. I added the media. Sorry, I'm trying to get this figured out.
And while I'm starting to sound like I'm not giving no props to the ladies, the Brats Funktified, as well as Rod Digger's Dirty Harriet, are also albums that I put in front of Miss Education.
I gotta figure this out. Because I've got it figured out how to pull some shit up with the screens, but I don't know why it's not doing
Whew.
what I want it to do.
That Funktified album was crazy.
Whatever. We'll just talk. I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the list and stuff. I don't know why it's not showing.
Lighter Than a Rock. Bruh, I talked about that on one of my GI's True Hip Hop Stories. That first MC Light album had me and a whole school bus full of kids convinced, hands down, that MC Light was the best rapper out in 1989. Not best female rapper, best rapper. Whole school bus full of kids between the ages, if I was 6 in 89, then we had all been between the ages of 5 and 10. And with a few hip hop head camp counselors on our way out to some summer camp in rural Ohio somewhere, like having the serious conversation, who's the best rapper in 1989. And the bus came to a consensus on MC Light. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, if
so I gotta put that Lighter Than a Rock album up there.
What would you do
to have a whole school bus full of kids like, oh yeah, no, that's the best rapper.
What would
nobody say?
What would you do if I told you that in 1989 I was kicking it with that nigga 2 Cypher and I was telling these niggas how dope Q-Tip was? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how far we go back, my boy. So like, if I tell you that I was the nigga that was arguing about how dope Q-Tip was in 1989, that would have been my or Rakim, because I'm a huge Rakim. You can tell by the way that I'm a Rakim fan. So
Rakim changed the way I look at hip hop. Like, changed entirely the way I look at the art of rapping. When Rakim came out, so Rakim raps like he's playing a saxophone.
Right.
That was the thing that set him apart from other MCs of the era. You know what I'm saying? I'm the son of a saxophone player who just happens to be just barely old enough to have caught a little bit of wind of that shit when it was happening. You know what I'm saying? And bruh, when he started rapping like that, rap became different for me after that. I was only a passing fan up until Rakim.
Yeah, see, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm like a lifer. Like my family, my dad was I'm a military brat, and we always, I got stationed, or my dad got stationed, my family got stationed where my dad grew up. So my dad grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. That's where his actual family's at. That doesn't happen very often. And then he got stationed there when I was like 4, and we lived there my whole life. He never got transferred. He never got moved. So I was lucky enough to be a military brat that actually grew up in their home city, their dad's home city, with all their family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stack.
So both sides
stack out here.
Yeah, both. Yeah, I'm thick. My family is deep as fuck in Omaha, bro. I'm not even capping. Like, my family is deep. I got a big ass. Yo,
when I first came to Omaha, like the first time I visited this city in the mid-90s, that was one thing that shocked the shit out of me. It's a lot of big ass tight-knit families on the north side of this city. Probably everywhere else too, but I was mainly paying attention to the north side. You know what I'm saying?
For those who aren't aware, and like Omaha, a lot of people think that Omaha isn't like there's no black people in Omaha. but Omaha is like North Omaha is as hood as anywhere else you're gonna go. I mean, it's a little safer than Chicago, yeah, but it's still hood as fuck. If you in the wrong fucking
Yeah. Well, I mean,
if you are 40,
Beirut might be a little safer than Chicago.
yo, my
Fucking
nigga,
Iraq probably a little safer than Chicago right now.
you
You know
go
what I'm
over
saying?
the 42nd and Grand, my nigga. That's as nasty as any fucking part of the world that you're gonna go to. That's it.
My nigga stay over there now. I was just crashing in his guest room for like 8 months.
And that's the funny shit is like we'd be over there, it'd be cool. But like if I don't have to go over there, if I don't have to go in between 42nd and Ames and 40th and Ames and 40th and Sorensen Parkway, if I can avoid those neighborhoods, I'm not
That's the
going.
neighborhood I was at in the early 90s when I first came out here to visit.
No, that's the spot. Like if I can avoid an area of Omaha, I'm gonna avoid. I don't want to say it like that either because I'm a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I be talking proper and shit, but you my nigga. You know a lot about me.
Right.
We'll talk about that shit on different live streams. You know,
man. I'll tell you one thing. Omaha showed me some shit that helped me, like back home where I'm from. Cause like when I first came out here, I'm from Ohio, Cleveland. Like the whole gang banging thing never really took hold for real where I'm from. But when I came out here, bruh. And so look, this is the mid 90s, and I think I'm cool as fuck. And so I had my Georgetown hat, my Georgetown starter jacket, the big puffy bomber, and I'm wearing my hat just like this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's 1995 or some shit. I'm cool as fuck. Now, mind you, I'm a pretty big dude. So even though I was only like 12, I was probably like 5'8". You know what I'm saying? This dude walks up on me. He gotta be like 8 inches shorter than me. Walks up on me, looks up at me, and says, "Hey, little homie." "Hey, little homie, I'm a blood, and I know you a Crip, but I ain't gonna trip because I can see you a little nigga. I'm gonna just tell you, around this neighborhood, gotta turn your hat the other way." I ain't know what the fuck he was talking about. I just did like this and slowly like just backed away from this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And went on about my business, right? Let me tell you something. I moved out here after high school. About 15, 16, 17 years after that quick little encounter with this blood. While I bump into homie again, he recognized me, invite me and my homies to a party, and treated us like guests of honor. We had a wonderful time with a bunch of flamed up niggas kicking and swooping all over the damn place. And we just welcome beers and shit. Me and my little cousin, my homeboy, and just after back in the 90s, ran up on me, G-checked me real quick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know what the fuck a Crip was. Man, I hope he's still alive. That was a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Omaha, they get busy. They get busy.
It's a little different. It's a little different. Like I can tell you, I don't even know. I don't want to get into this story, but I guess I'm going to real quick. Were you at the party where Anon pulled out his AK because I got into a brawl with somebody over my ex chick?
Man, that shit happened so many times.
Yo, we shut down the whole party. Like we started at Tone's house. Like we were at Tone's house, and this is when Tone and Sweet Pea lived together. And so we're at Tone's house, and everybody's there. We're having these ciphers, we're doing all this shit, and we have them camo 40s. And so this is when, like, yeah, you remember how culture used to get down, bro? Like, yo, motherfuckers talk about getting down and getting wild. Bro, if you've never gone through a stint of your life where all you drink was camo 40s and shots of Parmesan, then you fucking
I forgot about that Parmesan shit. Oh my god.
So we had my homeboy Danny, Ruthless Toothless, came through with like, yeah. He came through with like 10 cases of fucking camo 40s. And so we just get lit. bro, because there was
There
like
used
40.
to be a lot of motherfuckers at them parties, though.
Well, but no, this is before the party because there was like 40, 50 people at Tone's. We were having a party at Tone's apartment, Tone and Sweet Pea's apartment. But
I remember them parties.
me and Ivan didn't get along. Me and Ivan never got along until after this night. This was the night that made me and Ivan cool with each other. So like, Ivan used to date Sarah and I was dating Sarah, you know, but I dated Sarah first. And then I broke up with her and then he dated her for a little bit. And then me and her got back together. Now me and her been back together for a couple of years and this nigga wants to get back with her. And now we're beefing and shit. And I'm like, bro, it ain't gonna work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason you got to holler at her is because I fucking quit hollering at her. Like that's it. That's it. Like you didn't stand a chance, bro. You tried to holler at her when I was hollering at her before. You didn't stand a chance, but I didn't want to holler at her anymore. And so long story short,
actually pretty Tony, the nigga.
we're at Tones, but like Ivan was the same peer group, you know what I'm saying? Because his cousin was Lionel. Lionel went to school with all of us, you know, like Lionel was the homie, like he was like in our group, he was in our clique, and so Ivan was always around, and he's talking shit and he's acting, and he's like kind of in his corner, like calm. I'm at Tone's house acting a fucking donkey. So I'm talking all this shit and I'm acting wild because you know how Frick gets. They call me Frick for a reason. So like I'm over there for I call friction, nigga. So I'm over there wilding out and we go to this party. Somebody calls and they're like, hey, we're having this party. So we go fucking 50 deep. This is no exaggeration. This is
the day.
We roll over to another party 50 fucking deep because we were already having a party. And there's like this huge kegger, all this shit's going on. And like Ivan is like fucking doing all this wild ass shit in somebody else's car, like almost running into me and my girl and all this shit, all this crazy shit on the way down to the party. So when we get down there, I look at her and I'm like, I'm not gonna even sit up here and hold you. Ivan's a scrapper, so he that nigga probably could beat me up on a regular day. I'm not even gonna hold you, right? But I'm not scared of the dude. So it's like we get down there and I'm like, hey, I look at my girl, I said, if some shit pops off and he even says one thing, it's just going to be a fight right away because I can't let this nigga get in my head. I just got to fight, you know? I just got to go. And so we're down there and the nigga says some shit and I just fucking run up and I pick this nigga up and bam, I slam this dude on the couch. I don't think he was expecting this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought he was going to be able to bully me, but I just fucking ran up and I fucking grab him and bam, I slam him on the couch and I'm fucking choking this dude with my fucking forearm in his throat and shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, you thinking that you're harder than you really are, motherfucker. And everybody in the party from our crew is like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening right now? There's no way that CJ's fucking up Ivan. Because like, if the odds on favorite to win that fight, he would have been like 1,000 to 1 favorite. You had to put down $1,000 to win $100. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I was just talking to Mastermind about that type of shit the other day because we was talking about the different way.
Hold up. So now we're scrapping and they kind of get us broken up. You know what I'm saying? Because this nigga's like, you know, like kind of tapping because I'm choking him and shit. And then the party starts getting wild because like now it's their side. Yeah, they're our friends, but like Ivan's cousin was Ira Cooper who played for the Huskers at the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like there was a bunch of Nebraska Husker football players there, and it was tell me it was a wild ass scene. It was a wild ass scene. And so you got the college football players there, you got UNO football players there, and fucking these motherfuckers were going to start kind of trying to rush me, the football players. And so then fucking Anon was like, nah, nigga, all of a sudden, all you see is an AK out the side. Yeah, you know.
Man. So the thing with Omaha and these AKs, right? Because look, I talk to my homies back home about this sometimes, and it do sound fantastical. So I moved out here, like moved out here the summer of 2000, and they had these pawn shops. And bullshit you not, you could go in that motherfucker and they had a rack of AKs, SKs, and Mac 90s. Just old ones, Russian ones, Polish ones, you know what I'm saying? Different little shit. And them motherfuckers range from about $90 to about $300. And you could just go in that motherfucker, show an ID that you was 19 or older at the time, and just buy as many of them motherfuckers as you could afford. And so when I came out here, I brought one partner from one homie from Cleveland with me, and we set up shop out here. And when we saw that, we just copped like a bunch of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't have to, man, they just would sell you that shit and be like, all right, now go register. That shit was nuts. And so, yeah, it was a lot of AKs in the camp. The flamethrowers had a couple of them. Golden Shank had more than a couple of them shits. Ill Culture had a handful of them shits.
I forgot about the flamethrowers.
Oh my god, that's what A9. That was A9 camp, man. Man, they was lit. The flamethrowers was responsible for 90% of the pistol whippings that took place at them parties. And I can say that now because them statute of limitations is way long up. This is more than 20 years ago. But nigga, at least 90% of the pistol whippings that took place happened in that corner. You know what I'm saying? That shit used to be bonkers.
I'm serious as a heart attack. Like, if we wouldn't have had this conversation today and you didn't bring up them flamethrowers, I would have forgot there was like 20 niggas running around with flamethrowers, like that would flame.
Well, the niggas was, man, they was the smallest camp, but man, they was root, man.
I forgot about that shit, bro.
Because before A9 went to I think he went to he moved out of state, but before he went OT, I want to say it wasn't but 4 or 5 of them niggas, but man, them niggas was raw. You know what I'm saying? And then you had y'all. I want to say Ill Culture had to been the biggest camp for sure. The most motherfuckers was Culture.
We was wild. We was wild as shit.
Then Mastermind had them NFL niggas on missions. We used to link up with them and go out and.
You know what? You're talking about Mastermind like El Genius, or are you talking about?
No, Starks.
Oh yeah.
That nigga had
Mike Starks
tentacles everywhere. You know what I'm saying? When we first linked out there, when we first linked with them, I want to say they was the ones that brought us into the fold. And once we came along, that's when it became Four Corners. You know what I'm saying? But when we first linked up with Mastermind and them, me and my partner immediately had got into some little local trouble, right? He made it look like we was already in the county. And so then when we showed up to our little punk ass court dates 30 days later, we had 30 days time served and hadn't set foot nowhere inside no bars. That was the coolest shit ever. After he did that for us, just off the strength, off the love, on some all y'all new here, let me show you how we get down. You know what I'm saying? And then he brought us into the fold with y'all and the flamethrowers. Bruh.
Yo, you know what's funny is that
it was crazy.
Like, people don't realize like shit that you do. And like, I'm not even gonna sit up here. This is no flex. This is just like two homies talking. We're gonna get back to this list here in a second, y'all. But like, people don't realize the shit that you've done in your life. Like, I did some shit that opened up a whole entire music scene for a whole entire city. And so like in Omaha, there's like 1 million people in the 1.5 million people in the surrounding community. So granted, I know that there's not 1 million people that are doing shit off what I did, but as far as a hip hop community, that shit didn't exist before I was out there. And so like a lot of people don't realize you've done a lot of crazy ass shit, because I opened up a fucking huge ass scene. They weren't letting niggas do hip hop shows in Omaha around this time. When you they weren't, When
we first got out here, yeah, niggas wasn't getting paid or nothing.
Any shows. We had to do shows with like rock groups and shit. And so we remember we used to fuck with all the white boys because we were from Bellevue. So we grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah, and they used to get down too. Yeah, and they was my guy.
Yeah, yo, like Gut and Puke, them two niggas had bars. Farkas, them motherfuckers had bars. Like,
and Grips was so much the homie that I had to throw him a shout out in a song. Because me and Dub had did a joint back in like 2015. And I threw an entendre in there for my man Grips. I said, try to remove the grips. I'm going to force them back. And the Shank's going digital. We lightsabers now, heli sharp. And I'm strong with the force at that. We are forcing rap. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my guy. He used to pick us up. I think he had a Ram truck back then that was tinted out like fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but what I was gonna say was I remember niggas, we was getting shows at a place called the Cog Factory. And like the only place that you could really get hip-hop shows at was obviously the Ranch Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like
I remember that. Yeah.
That was the spot. That's where you did shows at in Omaha back in the day. But you couldn't get shows nowhere else. So we start getting in with these alternative groups and shit. And then we're the fucking actual headliners because you remember how culture was. Okay, whatever, nigga. It's a rock show, but there's about to be like 80 motherfuckers that we about to bring over here to this show. So we the main acts because
I used to have a Fort Crook Billiards.
Right. So we show up all deep and we started getting more people able to have venues and stuff because there's no fights, there's no violence. It's all good times in them. And so now we're at the Generator, we're at the Fusion, we're at Guitars and Cadillacs, we're at all these places that don't let people throw shows. Now we've opened up these spots for people to be able to throw shows. So this is early 2000s. If you're fucking from Omaha, you know what I'm talking about right now. If not, I mean, obviously this is just a wild ass conversation, but
I remember that shit because I was just hitting town. I had been here a couple of times before, but I was just moving here for the first time then.
So, but then like 5-6 years pass, and then when I'm on my own entity and I'm just being Cataract versus in the group Ill Culture, I really helped the fucking scene. I was like one of the main promoters in Omaha for fucking 4 or 5 years, you know, like I was like, I don't know, again, people on the internet don't get this shit, but I was literally the fucking dude in the city where I was from. Am I fronting, bro? Am I lying?
And when we first got out here, that was how we kind of like networked through the city so fast, because when we linked with Mastermind and he brought us to y'all and it became Four Corners, everything was intact after that. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all had outlets for us to go to where we could go anywhere. And with Mastermind plugged into the system everywhere, and with the flamethrowers being so rowdy, you know what I'm saying? All it took for us was to come in as a couple of tacticians and really make some shit happen. And then through y'all, that's how we was able to just go everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine being able to go to a city and immediately plug in with a network to where you just good every fucking where. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not a corner, a suburb, a dark shadowy area, an alleyway that I couldn't walk down with my shoestrings untied. And it was largely because of them camps that we had first linked up with through Mastermind, just fucking masterminding the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh yeah, these niggas over here from the gut is thorough. This nigga up here got the nigga from New York at the head of his shit. You know what I'm saying? Holding shit down over here. And then we over here on the north side and the south side as NFL, just blam, blam. And so when the Shank showed up, shit, we was able to just focus on doing what we do best. You know what I'm saying? Which was fantastic. We didn't need to expand. It was no friction nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And it was largely because Ill Culture had such a wide network. Flamethrowers was so rowdy, and NFL had Mastermind fucking orchestrating the whole shit. It was fucking brilliant.
I always forget A9's homie's name because that was the leader of the group, but I forget. Nah, Dice wasn't the leader of that group. Dice was
the head of the Flamethrowers. It was Dice, Chicken Bone, A9, Monkey Man, and they had a few like tertiary like side affiliates.
I'm thinking of this. There was this one nigga that they had in their group who was super dope. I could find it because I have the track. I have all the music. I have all that. I have all the old music. You know, all the old culture shit. Yeah, I can send it to you if you want it. I have it all.
I need that. Yeah. Some of that early shit was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to get Dice back in the studio now because, you know, I recorded Verbal Crossfire.
See, that's what I'm saying? I'm mad that like I feel like this stream would be doper if you were actually in your studio so people could see like your equipment. I know it's hot as fuck in your house right now, so I don't expect you to go upstairs.
Well, no, it's not that. I'm just, low key and shit.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Down here just chilling, but
not what you're supposed to do on the internet. You're supposed to sit in front of all your shit like I am. You see, I'm sitting in front of all my equipment. I don't want to be in this room right now.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Well, all right. Yeah, but what y'all don't know is he actually has a dope ass studio. You know what I'm saying? Like he does a lot of recording. He does a lot of shit. And his
so like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? It just be that nigga Dice when I was recording. Just we just be in the studio and shit, just studioing.
That's not what I'm saying. Oh, yo, this nigga's funny. This nigga's funny. I don't know. I hope y'all laugh, but I think that shit's funny. This motherfucker. But no, he's got a really nice ass studio, and he records people. He's got some good ass music too. But I feel like that would give a little more credence to this conversation because I don't think that the equipment makes a man. I make better music off my computer than I do off of any of the equipment that I have. Now I will say this. The shit that I make with this equipment sonically sounds much better than anything I make on my computer. So what I do is I combine the two and I do a lot of MIDI out into the boards, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm running my sounds through pedals back into the gear. And that's how I
get what? I'm having actually a bit of an issue right now transitioning into what's going to be more of a hybrid workflow.
Got me cracking up. I'm sorry. Niall says sounding like the Warriors, the Shanks, the Flamethrowers. Now the Flamethrowers.
We was the Warriors. We was the fucking Warriors. No, look.
Wait. There was a group called the Flamethrowers, but there was actually a group of motherfuckers that had flamethrowers, and that's where the Flamethrower group name came from.
Oh, yeah.
That had fucking flamethrowers, and so like I think I wasn't referring to niggas rapping. I mean, like niggas was literally in the street with flamethrowers, and that's where that group name came from. And so like when I was
just talking about the rap side of things, but the rappers in that group was some wild niggas. Like compared to the rest of us, they were some Dice and A9 and them was some. Like I told you, they was probably responsible for most of the up-pipe situations that transpire. And we used to be at bonfires. We used to roll so deep to so much shit, so many places. And the flamethrowers would be ready for just whatever, just wherever, just with whoever. You know what I'm saying? And we'd just be like, well, fuck it. If they in it, I guess we in it. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not from Nebraska or the Midwest, or if you've never gone camping, because if you go camping, you can experience this. But the way that we did this shit, you'll never experience no shit like a bonfire, because it's like in Omaha, people think that Omaha is like full of like cornfields and shit like that. There ain't no fucking cornfields. There's no fucking farm in Omaha, right? There ain't farm in Omaha.
When you drive 100 motherfuckers an hour outside the city to one of them cornfields for a party, though?
I was going to say next door, though. You know what I'm saying? Directly next door to the suburb, there's a ton of motherfucking of cornfields and shit.
And man, them bonfires be like 30 feet high.
Omaha, my nigga, and I'm not even just saying this to like talk shit, but I ain't never in my life. I've been in East. I've been East Omaha, West Omaha, North Omaha, South Omaha, fucking downtown. I done lived in every part of Omaha and never fucking seen a cornfield in the city of Omaha.
What's funny about that is when y'all first showed me where the cornfields were outside the city, it made me feel like, oh, nigga, y'all should have more of this shit in Omaha.
But what's dope, what I was going to get to next is what's dope is that when you have parties, when you go to Omaha and then you go to like Bellevue and now you're in some little farm in Bellevue or Ralston or wherever it is that you are, now you're fucking in a secluded area by yourself. So there's nobody around, no cops. You don't got to worry about shit. You got fucking
Oh,
kegs.
yeah.
You know how we got down. So it'd always be like 3 kegs or some shit, 2, 3 kegs,
Man.
music playing.
Them
We be
parties used to be
playing
so
it.
crazy.
Yo, a bonfire is a little different when it's thrown by some niggas. And like, I don't know if, well, I'm not trying to make this a racial shit, so I apologize if that's how I'm coming across. But like, you go to a bonfire where there's a bunch of niggas there, and not even thrown by niggas, but where there's a bunch of niggas who actually fuck with all the people who are throwing the bonfire. That shit is some completely different shit. It's an experience that you didn't know that you needed in your life, because it's like camping with niggas rapping, kegs, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking chicks. It's
Man.
like wild time, bro. It's a wild
The
time.
best ones I remember, though, thinking back, and it was a stark contrast for me because I come from a place that was like black as fuck. My high school was 88% black. And the only reason I know that is because we had a walkout my junior year, and the head of security was yelling in the hallway. They said, "Go on, walk out."
Wait one second. Dave did a show with Crossfade Family at the actual Cog Factory. That was one of our first shows that we did. I think I was 18 then. And with old girl, I forget her name. I can remember if I thought about it, but she acted like she died. And trust me, I know who Crossfade Family is.
Oh, you talk about Breathless.
Yeah, Breathless. Yeah, she acted like she died on all the other shit.
I was so mad about that.
Crossfade had some fire music at that time.
Yeah, they did.
When we were in like
2000,
2000,
and Breathless was nasty.
Bro, she was the baddest chick in the whole entire city.
Breathless was nasty on that microphone. She did that fake death shit. I was angry as fuck about that. Because niggas was genuinely concerned.
She was the dopest chick in Omaha for like 12, 13 years. Like there was no
longer than that.
Like yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was so bad. She was so dope as an artist that I don't think she knew how dope she was. She was literally the best in our. She knew she was dope, but she didn't know that
she was a superstar before it was even cool to act like that.
All the chicks coming out now, like there's the girl who's coming out now who Cardi B is who
King Diamond.
Yo, so yeah, Ching Diamond, she's from Omaha. So I talked to Fonz yesterday.
My nigga.
Yeah, because I talked to you because of the conversation that me and you had. I talked to Fonz, and I'm not going to get into all the details, but I was like, what I think is funny is that, like, because niggas don't always know niggas by their government names and shit. And I was like, I think it's funny that you didn't realize that Cataract, and you was talking to Goldeneye. He goes, yeah, I knew who you were, but I didn't. Like, I knew all this shit. He's like, but all these years, I'll tell you this. I never put Cataract to CJ because I looked at Cataract promoter and I just listened to your music whenever you posted this shit.
Man, when I seen you pop up as something hit the keys, I was like, what the fuck is Cataract doing? But
new branding, bro. Just new branding. I didn't want to be Cataract anymore because it's like I got kids out here and my kids are gonna ask me, why is your name Cataract? And I'm gonna have to be like, because your dad smokes a lot of weed, kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because you can't say because niggas can't see me. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? The truth was I smoked a lot of weed. That was part of it, though. You can't see me like Cataracts. That was literally it. That was it. That was why it started. But it was more shit because we're rappers, so it's always more to it. So you can't see me like Cataracts. I smoke a lot like Cataract. I mean, it was like 5 different.
Most MCs have deep double entendre names like that. You know where I got my name from? So look, I was 15, just getting in the game, the game. And I was at the plug house and his mama came out. And she was a smoker. I was standing like not on the front porch, but on the walkway in front of the house, facing away, looking out into the sunlight. You know what I'm saying? And this smoker walked up to me and said, "What's up, Golden Eyes?" You know what I'm saying? And I said, you know what? Because that movie had just came out a year or two prior, the 007 movie. You know what I'm saying? And so I just started going by GoldenEye. And then when I finally got to the point where shit needed to be legal, I shortened it to GI.
Yo, pause. You do got some pretty ass eyes, nigga. With your pretty ass eye having pretty ass having ass pause. You know what I'm saying? You
But
do.
yeah,
That's a good name because it fits you. You know, like
it was just some simple ass shit. A crackhead gave me my name. You know what I'm saying? And her son put me on in the game.
I picked this something moniker because it's like I'm always doing something. So I'm doing something, whether it's with this production or with this rapping, or whether I'm like giving back to people in the community, or you know what I'm saying. So it's like I'm always into something. So it's not really just like I know it's super random, but the shit actually means something. I'm always into something, a whole bunch of something. So it's and then I threw the hit the keys at the end. That's only for music. But if I'm doing other shit, like when I do the sports podcast and shit, I just go by something. I don't go by hit the keys, you know? So yeah, because I don't really hit the keys like that. I mean, I can do enough to make some beats, obviously. Clearly I can make a decent beat. You know what I'm saying? I have to say I shouldn't have to defend myself on that. So clearly
it's a nigga from Omaha on them keys side of things that blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? Was over my house. Now, so I've got these couple of keyboards that I've had for a long time. Man, this one nigga, fresh out of high school, just dropped the album. You know what I'm saying? Had the city on fire. I bring this nigga over my studio. He hop on some of my keys and start playing some shit that sound like it comes from a symphonic orchestra. And so I say to him, "Oh, you must have some piano training." He say, "No." I say, "Oh, you taught yourself that."
What's his name?
Say, "No. I just push the keys that sound good."
Are you talking about?
Fucked me up. So today, the world knows this man as King ISO. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were gonna say. I honestly thought that's who you were gonna say, my boy.
Back then, he went by the name Reality, but just as dope. I met him when he was 18, and he was nasty then. It was crazy to see.
Let me tell
to
you
the point where when he finally blew, I was like, it's about fucking time.
Let me tell you, I gotta go get another beer real quick. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you a funny story about how I met Reality or how I met King ISO. Because all of the real ones still call King ISO Reality when we're like around each other. Because that's the issue, you know. I only call you King ISO when I'm talking about you in my platform and shit. Because that's what you go by. But the nigga I know is Reality. Like I know that little fucking 17, 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid. Yeah, that's the nigga I know, you know. But I mean, I know him all throughout because again, you know, my boy, I was throwing shows, I was doing everything, and you already know Familicia, you know me, Mike, and you know, I mean, obviously, you know me and King you already know, my nigga.
I was talking to Mike the other day. Finally, I got up with him. You know what I'm saying?
You fucking know that your boy, the same in regards to you. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I'm saying about myself, you too, because it's like we didn't do all the same things musically, but all these connections and all this shit that people just don't see, like your boy really do be fucking with fucking URL rappers and fucking rappers that are openers or like all this shit. Like people on this platform, they don't know. Like you get on fucking Facebook or your YouTube and you watch people, and there's a lot of people that give you advice. And there's a lot of people that try to help you out and do all this other shit, but they've never done fucking nothing. I'm not trying to say that I'm like this great musician.
I'll be wondering about that sometimes.
The G12s, the G units. I opened up music scenes. I've done so much fucking shit with music that people will never fucking realize because they weren't there. And now it's 2024. And when I get on here and I speak my opinion and I speak my mind and I speak on things, a lot of people won't understand why I feel like I can speak on this shit, right? Because I'm not special. But I have done.
No, because when the shit was going, we was there.
And this is a nigga who I'm not even capping for. He's dope as fuck. You can listen to his music, and you can listen to him rap, and you'll know he's dope. That's
probably should go listen to my music. Actually, that's probably a healthy decision for anybody.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and tap that in for a second. I'm about to go get another beer. And
no doubt. No, while he on getting a brew, I'm gonna talk about couple of the cats that we had the pleasure of working with back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So my man King ISO, I pulled up on him. His tour took him through the Cleveland area. Pulled up on him, and I don't know a whole lot of people that got some fame that I knew before, but when I pulled up on my man's, he was still just my man's. You know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't nothing different. And I treasure stuff like that. And I finally got up with the other homie yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And it was the same thing. Like, sometimes when it's solid, just no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of things those are the type of things I treasure, because I went and watched my man St. Mike battle one of his old battles this morning. St. Mike versus Anubis. Because I was talking to my other homie down in Atlanta about it. Like, oh yeah, if you want to watch a battle, watch the homie dismantle Anubis. You know what I'm saying? Because Anubis was a dope MC, is a dope MC. I'm talking like nigga dead. I mean, shit, way Mike did him, but it's a dope MC.
Anubis,
and he was coming off like a toupee, like he was coming off. He was getting it in. But man, this nigga Mike did homie so bad in the third round that they had to pull him off. Like he was stomping homeboy. They pulled him off physically because of how bad he was doing him with his rounds.
That's the wrong battle. That's the chess battle.
No. That's the Anubis battle. I just watched it this morning. That shit was banana.
It's the chess battle at Funkmaster Flex, and it's all the people, not Funkmaster Flex, but DJ Kid Capri. So Kid Capri hosted that event, and
I saw that one too. He dismantled chess too, but I'm talking about Anubis. That's my favorite is the Anubis battle, bro, because Poison Pen pulled my man off. Because he's like, stomp that motherfucker till I flip your mother.
That's the chess battle. That's the chess battle. You're fucking that's the chess battle. Because he
look it up, man. I watched it this morning. It's the Anubis.
I know these battles. I know these battles because that's the battle where he hits chest. Because as we're talking, if you guys watch battle rap, Chest is a huge battle rapper. Cortez is a huge battle rapper. And Anubis won 106th in Park 8 weeks in a row as the Freestyle Friday battle rapper. And I
didn't even know that.
What's that?
I didn't even know that Anubis had done that. I've only ever watched him versus St. Mike. Because St. Mike is my nigga.
Well, that's why that battle was so important for Mike. Because that nigga won, 8 straight.
Dogged Anubis. He dogged chess like that too. But he didn't get the credit for dogging out chess. And so I don't like watching that battle.
He gets the credit, but people just let it go because when you watch the battle, chess's rap style isn't conducive to beating somebody like Mike. There's never a day like Mike will beat Chess 100 out of 100 days because of the way that they rap.
Well, Chess was weak to me. He always was weak to me. I never really liked his shit.
He told that nigga Chess, I fuck Chess like I'm titty fucking, bro. That shit.
Oh no, the best shit against Chess was that scheme. That shit was fucking nuts. Doing the ham bone. Nope, my bad. That wasn't Chess. That was the other nigga in that little record store. He had a bunch of classic battles, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite was Anubis. That shit was a masterwork. You know what I'm saying?
I like the Cortez battle, but I think in the Cortez battle they didn't. The fans like because there was one round where Mike, it's questionable the first round. Who do you think won? But I think Mike won the first round.
Man,
I think it was the second round. One of those rounds, Mike went so fucking hard on that nigga, and they were like, "Oh, well, it was what?"
To this day,
blacked out on this dude, and y'all are like, "Oh, it's a draw or Cortez." Get the fuck out of my face!
In my personal opinion, and I'll accept any accusation of being biased because that is my homeboy or whatever to that. In my personal opinion, I've not seen Mike lose a battle. The only arguable that I can cite as far as a St. Mike battle happened right here in this same house in my fucking living room on my 25th birthday party versus Clown. That's an arguable. But other than that, man, Chess, fucking Anubis, fucking A Ward, fucking Cortez, all of them niggas, in my opinion,
So
30.
Clearly you didn't see the Mr. Man battle then.
Man, that's my favorite battle of Mike because Mr. Man gave that nigga the most comp, but he didn't beat him.
My nigga, we're not even, I can't even like
that nigga said Mike hype.
right.
Mike face.
The niggas Mike teams were so hard. That nigga said, what did he say? He said, sexual chocolate drops Mike, and then dropped the mic. Yo, that shit was fucking nasty.
That was bananas. I keep trying to get them niggas to rematch a full 3 rounds. And the thing is, Mike has gotten so much better since then that Mr. Man don't want it no more. He done told me that about 1,000 times on Facebook. Like, nigga, is you crazy? No. You know what I'm saying?
That's the reason why they only battled 1 round in the first place, is because, but it was unlimited. But I mean, I get that shit too, because if you're Mr. Man, it's like, dude, I don't know the only way you can beat Mike in a battle is if you have jokes, because you can get that nigga. If you're funny as fuck, you can get that nigga.
The one dude almost took him off his square when he called him a German short-haired pointer. That fucked me up. I was like,
I'm about to clip that. Bro, I'm about to clip that shit and make it some shit on my stream permanently with Tajik saying sexual mic drop. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, that mic flips that had was one of the dopest flips I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's what I was getting to. I was talking to the other homie Tang a while back, last summer, as a matter of fact.
That's my nigga. You already know that's my nigga.
You know, Tang actually went out there and traveled with Mike on quite a few of those battles that was out of town.
Yeah, he used to drive Mike to the battles.
Right.
Dude, bro.
And so Tang gave me the low on that shit. He said that even though when we was all watching the playback on YouTube and seeing clearly that Mike was dogging these niggas, Tang said in the building they was shading this nigga almost every single time.
I know that shit. Yeah, I get that. I want to say this though too, while I have the moment on my platform to give somebody flowers. I absolutely love that nigga Tang. I know he ain't gonna see this live stream, but nah, Tang is my dude. Like we're all cool with Tang. Everybody cool with Tang. We all cool with Tang.
That's my big bro, as far as I'm concerned.
That is my
fucking
bro, my nigga. Like, he used to always come through and just help me out in different ways, or hook me up, or plug me up, or whatever. Anything that I ever needed from Tang, I can call Tang right now and be like, hey dog, you want to come down to Atlanta for a week? And that nigga will be like, let me get a rental, and I'll be there in fucking a week. You know what I'm saying? You know? Like, yo, I've done probably 40 shows with Tang, because I was the promoter and shit in the city. At least I've probably done at least 40 shows with Tang and with No Good. You know what I'm saying? I've probably done
I've battled Tang that many times, more than that many times. I've probably battled Tang more times than I've battled any other one person. And I've lost most of them. Actually, that's a funny fact. On the official record, as far as like public battles, I'm up on Tang, like 2-1 or something stupid like that, right? On our actual real life battle tally, Tang is up on me like 4,015 to 2. You know what I'm saying? I used to go over this nigga house and battle him like 10, 15 times a day and lose all of them. But the whole time be getting sharp as fuck. Let another nigga come at me during that time. I used to go out and decimate niggas because I was losing to Tang 15 times a day. You know what I'm saying? But Me and Tang battled on Wax, where it was a setup. We never had no real beef. We just was like, we both gonna make songs, and I got the W on that. I think everybody can agree. And me and Tang battled at Jonesy's and at another couple of venues. You know what I'm saying? In front of crowds and got judged. And on the Wax battle, you can give me the W. I don't think nobody will be mad about me saying I caught the W in the Wax battle. On them stage battles, I think we have a total of 3 stage freestyle battles. He won the first one. I won the second 2. You know what I'm saying? Because I was super duper on that night and he was just him. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in the zone particularly.
Yeah. No, I get
that. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
and we battled twice in the same night and I won both of them. And so as far as the audience is concerned, niggas think I'm up on Tang like 3-1 when actually he up on me like 4,003. You know what I'm saying?
I can't
in real life. You know,
I can't tell you. That's where me and Two Cypher. Well, I got more wins than 2, but that's where me and Two Cypher land, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like why there's so many rappers in Omaha who like 00, Two Cypher. That nigga pisses me off because he changed his name, and I told him how to not have to change his name, but he only changed it for some legal repercussions because somebody tried to.
I always looked at 00 as that kind of chameleon anyway, because sometimes he was 00, sometimes he was Fish. You know what I'm saying? Like I always felt like he could just.
He had a bunch of he had a bunch of different personas, but I battled him. I've battled him probably more than any other human being has ever battled anybody else, right? because like because you get it. Like we kicked it every day. Me and that nigga was me and that dude were best friends.
And he still has bars for centuries.
Right. So I battled that man more than probably any other human being has battled any other human being. And for the most part, he's won those battles. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I'm not going to sit up here and be
that nigga is a hard out for most motherfuckers.
Because you can have around the hard shit about him especially back in the day, was like you could have a fire ass verse. Like I could be up in the battle.
It don't even matter.
It's like 1-1, and then we're in round 3, and I come with the most fire ass freestyle I've ever had in my life. Like I'm fucking going. Everybody in the party is going hard because you know how the party. You know, there'd be like 100 people like in the room that were and so
he used to say shit
fucking crazy. And then
he used to say shit in ciphers that used to make me not want to rap for a few minutes. Like
yeah. You don't want to follow him in a cipher. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm one of those people. I don't know, I could be wrong, but if we're freestyling, I feel like I'm somebody you don't want to follow in a cipher because I'm about to spit a lot, rap a lot, and I got a lot.
We went 10 months Tuesday Night Titans when the things was going on every Tuesday at Jonesy's. We went a solid 10 months at Jonesy's, right? During that 10 months, Pang and Clown was the 2 winningest niggas week to week, right? Zach rarely showed up.
Right.
When he showed up,
it's tense in there. Butt cheeks get fucking closed up a little bit, you know? I already know, bro. Because he could just rap.
And it wasn't even a question of him having to like battle his way through the ranks and prove it to niggas. When he showed up, some niggas just left.
Hey, yo, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a funny story. So I've been knowing this nigga again since we was like 7 or 8 or something. We played fantasy football together, or not fantasy, but we played Little League football together. And that's how we met. And then he ended up moving into my neighborhood after we played Little League football together. So like we knew each other and we didn't get along the greatest when we played football. But when it came to the neighborhood, it's like, okay, you're one of the only black kids in this neighborhood. You know, we gonna fuck with each other, you know? And so I remember this nigga Dub. This is no slight. Dub, if you're watching, I love you, my boy. But Dub was the most square nigga that I knew for so long, right? He was like the most. He was.
I can't even picture that.
This nigga went to Denver for a year to go live with his dad, and he lived in the fucking hood, and he fucking was around a bunch of niggas. Yo, he came back, and he was a completely different person because he's been a year in the hood. Yo,
All I know from Dub is motherfucking this nigga like this nigga's like a cross between Andre 3000 and Razcast. Like, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
he still, but no, but here's what it was that he grew up in his mom and them. They went to church all the time, and they were always like church people, and so it was like
I
he
can see
wasn't
that.
like for me. I guess just from my perspective, like my nigga, we cool, but I ain't trying to talk about God right now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, my face with that shit. Because even when you're a little kid, you ain't trying to have no fucking conversation about God.
Man,
But he was always cool. He was cool. He was always cool.
that was one of my favorite niggas to do songs with. Probably still is to this day. We've done so many songs together. I've probably done more songs with Dub than I have with anybody else. Except maybe because I've done a lot of songs with Sir Scrap, my nigga. I've done a lot of songs with Mastermind, but I think I've done more songs with Dub just because through that All Pro stint we was doing all that shit, and then aside from that we've collabed on a few joints. You know what I'm saying? And oh man, them All Pro joints was crazy because fucking Saint Mike was singing some of them hooks and he could fucking sing. That shit was nuts. I didn't know that before then. Fucking Reality was with us towards the end. And then that nigga Jeff, Cool Breeze.
Yeah. So let me tell you about how I met King ISO. So I met ISO in 2000 and I think 2010. I think that's when I finally met him because I was
When we was running around tearing them stages down.
Well, no,
that was a good year.
That's when I kicked into gear. That's when all this shit really started for me. Like was 2010.
That was a good year.
Yeah, I quit my job. I bought a studio. I started doing music. I started becoming a promoter. I started, I just like 2010 is when I really took off with music. But I was fucking with Familitia and Mike.
I wanted to be here for that so bad.
Yeah. And so I'm not gonna get into all the negatives, but I'm just gonna talk about the positives, So
that shit looks so great from where I was looking.
If the shit, if here's where life sucks because sometimes you have somebody who's sitting on the outside who was supposed to be on the inside. I mean, I'm not gonna get into all the terms. I'll just say I was supposed to be an owner, and so like the shit didn't work out right. So obviously I'm gonna be the way that I am. But when you look at the shit, nigga, there's a nigga who has everything. So there's a nigga who has the venues, he has a studio, he has all the connections, he has
yeah.
So there's somebody who should be who nigga should literally be the owner of the record label because he has everything.
I spoke to the homie John earlier today too.
Well, I'm talking about me. I was that person. You know what I'm saying? But John, I love John. John James, I love him to death. I love John like a brother. I really do. I love the fuck out of John,
He looked out for me big time when I needed something. I had this sample that man.
Hold up.
Cool
I'm
ass nigga.
Hold up. I'm not done yet. But I love John. I do love John. I will always say that. I love that nigga. He knows that shit too. I message him. I talk to him all the time still. He's one of the people from Nebraska I still talk to. I love that nigga John. He was my barber. He was literally my barber for like he was my first barber ever.
Tight cuts.
Yeah. And then he was my barber for like 20 years, I did switch barbers, and it's not because John couldn't cut hair. John cuts the shit out of hair. But Joe cut my hair one time, and it was just different. It was like I never since, before or after, had anybody who can cut my hair like Joe Pro.
If I needed a barber, I mean,
Joe Pro,
I would know who to holler at.
When I first met King ISO, I was supposed to be an owner on
Familitia.
And I'm over at Mike's house. So Mike had just got like an AKG. I think he got a 414.
He still got it.
I think it was a 414 or something he got. And
no, it's not a 414. I think it's like the P20 or some shit.
No, it's not a P20. It's something that's the same form factor. Well, the mic I'm talking about, because it was like an $820 microphone. I think it was the
Oh,
414.
that was the MXL Revelation he had.
No, he had a AKG. I think it was a 414, bro. I used to go over there and record.
He had a 414?
It was, yeah, because I
Or
think
a 214. He probably had a 214. That's about 800, 900.
it could have been the 214, but he had just got that microphone and he had just got the Art Pro Channel preamp. It was this because I just got this preamp. I got this preamp because Mike got this preamp. So
I've been hearing good things about that motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's you can't get this one no more. Don't get this one. It makes too much line noise after time. Don't get it. It's nice, but don't get it.
I seen one in Rainbow not too long ago.
But I'm over at his house and we're recording Get It In. So I don't know if you ever heard the song that me and Mike did called Get It In. It's like one of, I don't give a fuck. It's one of Mike's best songs. And it was like when he dropped that shit before.
I gotta buy Mike's album still. I feel like a terrible person for not having it already.
On an album. He never dropped this song on an album, but he bought this beat from this big ass producer. So this producer, I mean, the producer now, I can't remember his fucking name, but he's got like 500, 600,000 subscribers. So he bought this beat and we did this track called Get It In, and it was just a dope ass track. And I went over there and he was just getting his studio together and he was getting his shit going. And ISO comes over. So King ISO just pops over in his house and shit. And I don't know ISO, you know?
He used to do that.
Yeah,
he was like a little brother to all of us.
Yeah, I didn't know that nigga. And so Mike's like, hey, the homie's coming over, and he's a really dope rapper. He's like only fucking, I think he was 19. He was 19 at the time. And he was
I asked Mike to look out for him when I left.
Well, he was 19 or 20 at the time, and he had just got out of prison. He just got out of prison. And so like, I think he got out of prison the day before. Like he'd only been out of prison for like a day or something like that for real. And so Mike's like, hey, you know, the homie's coming over. This dude's dope, whatever. So ISO comes over and we're kicking it. And this nigga don't even kick no raps. Like me and Mike have a freestyle session, right? And we're spazzing. Mike's like, yo, I'm telling you, like this was when I was at my peak. This is probably my
Meanwhile, this nigga, I saw the dopest nigga in the room.
In the fucking room, bro. And I'm in there, but I'm getting there going. Like this is like one of the freestyle sessions where like it's like one of my best. Like I can do well at times when I'm going, when I practice and shit like that. You know, everybody gets that shit. Mike even hits me up the next day and he was like, were you spitting written yesterday? And I was like, so that's how you know you're fucking rapping. When fucking Saint Mike texts you, nigga. He says, hey nigga, are you not little nigga? I'm his big nigga. But when Mike texts me and he says, are you kicking freestyles or writtens? And I'm like, nigga, them is freestyles. You know, you went the fuck off because that dude raps like that dude.
Yeah, Mike is one of the niggas who can transition seamlessly in and out of freestyle and written, and sometimes you can't tell.
He's a 1%er. If I had to like call some shit of what I think of like people who are rappers, he's a 1%er. He's
shit. The only nigga that I would say is up there with Mike all around
would be Dub.
As far as freestyle and written and beat making and song making and everything is ISO.
Oh, well, no. Well, I put ISO. Okay, here's how I categorize these two dudes, right? I'm gonna be real. I categorize them in different shit because I gotta be real. Neither one of them niggas really make music I would listen to. But
ISO and Saint Mike?
Yeah, and they don't make music I really would listen to. But both of those niggas can rap. Both of those niggas can rap better than anybody else that I would listen to.
Pretty much better than anybody.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. They just don't really make. I'm like especially now at this age, like 15, 20 years ago, yeah, ISO and Mike is the shit I'm listening to. But like I'm old and I just want to listen to some shit that I can get jiggy to. I want to dance a little bit. I want to hear bars, but I don't want to hear bars 24/7. I just can't.
The reason I always keep listening to them two niggas in particular is because as I'm over here by myself pushing the limits of what a person can do with the English language, I need to hear somebody do some shit that I haven't yet thought to do.
Right.
So I know that I know where I stand in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm over here, there's nobody commercially released that's doing some of the shit that I'm doing.
Yo, let me finish this ISO story real quick. So now I've met ISO when he's in a room, and me and Mike have been freestyling all day, and he looks at me and he goes, "Bro, you're dope." And he didn't really say much. He was like super calm and like, because if you know ISO,
yeah, he likes to listen more than he likes to talk. But there's one of my favorite things about him.
But there's two sides of ISO. So sometimes he just wants to listen to you and he just wants to fucking chill. But sometimes he wants to fucking talk a lot. And, you know, like I went to, so then I knew him for a while, you know, obviously, because we were on the same record label. So like, we're on like Omaha Cypher. There's this shit called the Omaha Cypher. And
I remember that. I threw an entry in.
I swear to God, if you Google that shit and listen to that shit, you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that shit was bonkers.
Nebraska that rap like this.
And I saw it all the way in Cleveland.
Bro, it's like 8 years old, you know, 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
I swear to God, if you Google that shit and listen to the whole fucking shit, you're going to be like.
I did. I was listening to it when it was happening, when niggas was releasing their videos, kicking them verses. That shit was, it was crazy.
I'm saying this to the people watching the stream. If you like Google this shit, it's like one of the nastiest ciphers you will ever see. There's 16 different rappers. There are some verses that may not be the hardest, but it's going to kick right off into action. TKO was spitting. And so like if you fucking push play on this shit, you're going to be like, oh, damn. And but like ISO's on that shit. I'm on that shit. But I've done like other shit with him. And like, just like I used to be the guy who threw the shows. And so like ISO, I put him on a whole bunch of shows. You know what I'm saying? I've done a bunch of shows with ISO, all kinds of other shit. And I remember where there was a point where the changing of the guard was coming, because it was like I was like a major factor in the scene for a long time. So it was probably 5, 6, 7 years that I was like one of the main promoters. I was one of the main people who did shows and shit like that. But then I started getting out of that shit because of the way that my marriage was set up. My ex-wife was getting sick of coming to shows because she always came to every show and shit. And she was just, all right, bitch, we've been doing this shit for 7 years. All right, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Let me do some other shit. But I'm still going to do major shows. So that's when I was only doing like opening up for the, you know, the Lazy Bones or the fucking Paul Walls and shit like that. But I went from being one of the main promoters to not really in the scene. But every once in a while I would pop up to people's shows because I still was part of the scene. And, you know, I'm just an OG in the scene and shit. So you still pop up at shows to show people respect, you show people shit, to show people love. And I remember I seen ISO one day and he was like, hey, man, why don't you sign to my label? And this is when he had first signed to, it was before Strange Music. So it was like, what's the dude's name?
It was when he was fucking with Brain Sick. Yeah,
Brain Sick. Yeah. And he was like, I can get you on, bro. You are so dope. You don't even fucking know. You don't get the respect. Like I fuck with ISO so much because of the way that he is. And, you know, just
like real humble dude.
Yeah, he's just like, hey man, you are so dope. You're doper than you realize. You're not like these other niggas on the scene. Your drive it's crazy. Your hustle is crazy. You fucking just all this shit. And this is after I'd known him for the grip and I'd been his big homie. Now he's just looking at me like, hey, dog, I can help you out. And instead of, you know, not knowing what's going to go on at the time, I'm just like, bro, I got all the shit that you can offer for me. I can't really come do the shit, you know? And I can't really like sign to somebody else when I got everything that somebody else can provide for me. And I should have signed to that nigga. You know what I'm saying? like I should have signed that nigga.
I don't know. Like, I was speaking with him not too long ago. He's still the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't know how rare that is or isn't in the industry, because anybody that I know that's even a little bit in the industry, I didn't know him before. But he the one that I knew before. Well, him and Mike are the two that I knew before. And shit, they basically, I spoke both of them recently. They the same niggas. They, you know what I'm saying? They still my niggas. Like, I still call them up. Yo, what up? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Talk to them just like I be talking to you. And that's I appreciate that shit from both of them. I really do. You know what I'm saying?
Here's one thing I'm gonna say, because I mean I have to say this too, because I've been doing a whole lot of slurping this evening. I got nothing but love for both those niggas. Like I have no beef with ISO. Like I don't have nothing negative to say about ISO. Obviously, you know, me and Mike aren't on the greatest terms right now. But again, I only say this to let y'all know how much of a real one I am. I can get on my platform, you know what I'm saying, and I can say nothing but positive shit about a motherfucker that I don't really fuck with no more. You know what I'm saying? But I still got all the respect, all the mutual respects, and all that other shit. So I'm not trying to make it look nasty. I'm not trying to get you caught up in a clip, bro. But
I just look at it like, man.
No. What I'm saying
everybody,
is,
we all still four corners.
But what I'm saying here is, you know, I'm a real one because I can be on this pod for an hour and a half and not say one negative thing. You know what I'm saying?
We all still four corners anyway. Yeah. Like, I mean, and that's what I was talking to Mastermind about last week, because in our corner on the Shank side, we be fighting like each other. You know what I'm saying? And they don't do that in their corner. And so we were just comparing notes, like, well, yeah, not no more. Like, I'm 41 now. Like, nah, I don't be fighting my niggas now. But when we were like 15, 16, hell yeah, we went to the pit often. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it was to settle a dispute. Sometimes because I just don't like you this month, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes.
You know how else? You know, me and Dub have been in like 3 fist fights, like real ass fights in life, bro.
Yeah, we'll talk about that shit.
What's
and
that?
So I was talking to Mastermind about that shit, because in their corner, they never did that. They settled all of their disputes amicably or not at all. And I was like, wow, that takes some serious maturity. And he was looking at how we did it. He was like, wow, and y'all could just be cool after that. I was like, that's the only way we could be cool after that. What do you mean? Like,
I would do, Dub is my dude till the end of time. I would do anything for that dude. Pause. Well, pause. I'm pause it and y'all get it. But like, sometimes you got to fight that shit the fuck out. I don't give a fuck who you are. Sometimes, hey, if you've known somebody for 30 years and you got some some kind of animosity built up, you got to fight that shit the fuck out. And then
it seemed that way back when I was a kid.
Fuck that. Fight
Nowadays, that I can't even imagine going to the pit with a nigga. And I believe all my niggas feel the same way, the age we are now. But back when all the way up into my 30s almost, that was a thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's different when you're 27. Fight that shit out when you're 27. Yeah, when you're 40, you're not fighting this shit out because you've been hanging out with this nigga for 30 years. And it's like,
I already know how you feel about the shit.
Yeah, like, but you know yourself. And so it's like,
you already know how I feel about the shit. Like,
yeah, I'm not going to take it there if I don't want to get into a fight. But when you're like 26, 27, 18, 19.
We used to be duped, man. But that's how you could be cool afterwards, because y'all both bloody.
Yeah, but it'll change it, but it'll also change the way that both of you motherfuckers talk to each other too. Because if you win the fight, then you don't have to back down from the other motherfucker. But if you lose the fight, you got to give them a little more respect than you probably would. And
we never really had that dynamic because, man, when we was teenagers, we used to fight so much that it really wasn't a whole lot of who had the up on anybody, because anybody could just fuck around and have a good day. And we fought so many times, I can't even count how many times me and Lil Man went to the pit. And he was the big homie, but he just always wanted me to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a funny story.
I cannot remember any time because if he could outpunch me, I could outdance him. And so it was never after we fought, like, the talk got even more reckless, because it's like, nigga, you bleeding too. Like, the fuck? Like, what's up? You go again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's times where I got carried in the house, but nigga, I just still like, all right, nigga, you know what I'm saying?
So I used to be, I always talk about this shit. I was the nigga in our crew who was responsible as fuck. But you already know I was grimy.
Yeah, because you was the manager of everything.
Everything. Yeah. People don't get that shit. But again, this is a story we're gonna tell another time. We're not getting into the story. But this nigga Goldeneye knows for a fact that I used to hustle and grind. I had a bunch of money and I was a grimy ass nigga before we got. Now let me rephrase that. We were already cool. We've gotten tight after this shit. But in the middle, some crazy ass shit happened that he controlled and fucking navigated, which was wild. But it'll let you know, like, all this shit I be talking and telling y'all is the fucking honest to God truth, right?
The ciphers used to be legendary. It used to be you and Farkas giving everybody a run for their money.
That's because I would go, man. Like, I would go, man. I would go.
Because Zach used to be busy. Low used to be the fucking Terminator. You know what I'm saying? You and Farkas could go forever, though. Low still is the Terminator in them ciphers. He be doing that shit to young motherfuckers now down there in Atlanta. I still gotta plug y'all in. You know what I'm saying? Low, if you watching this, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to Low. You know what I'm saying? Because he down there with you. Yeah. And that nigga's still the cipher Terminator. You need to get that nigga on some of them streams just to be the freestyle nigga. Have him freestyle on every beat. My God.
He just gotta show up.
That's the one nigga that I be knowing if I ain't on my shit will ace me on a track, because I seen him get on. He got on a track with this one nigga one time, our young homie, and he laid one verse, one track, one take, no ad libs, no overdubs. Nigga came in, got in the booth, spit a verse, and left. I mixed it down, and gave it to the nigga whose song it was. He dropped the shit. His homeboy came to me next week, pissed off. Why you make your nigga sound better than my nigga on his song? I said, nigga, you was in the studio. I didn't do shit to that nigga verse. He stepped in the booth and did that. He didn't even do no ad libs on you niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, is you crazy? Don't ever come to me like that, nigga. I just hit record, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga Low is the Terminator on that mic, and I can't convince him to get back on it from here. I done sent this nigga a whole recording studio for his birthday, like 3 years ago.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Niggas just don't want to rap. So I guess we've gone off on this tangent for a minute.
Long time. We supposed to be talking about Lauryn Hill. Yeah. Shout out to Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. I might clip part of this. So let's go ahead and come back here to this is the top 10. I mean, first we're going to start with the top 5, right? Because on the top 5 of this list, I feel like the 6th album should be number 2. And so, like, when this list is awful. This list is awful. I'm like looking at this. I've never actually looked at the list. I watched a bunch of podcasts. This list is awful, nigga. Bro, this list is not good. Like, all right, so number 1 is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That's not the number 1 album of all time. Like, I mean, like, look, I mean, I'm not gonna.
You got to get past Purple Rain, man.
Okay, so Thriller's number 2. Number 3 is Abbey Road. I can't be mad at that. It's the Beatles. That's not for me, but it's all genres, and so I understand the impact that Abbey Road.
It means something.
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue Abbey Road being in the top 5 or the top 10, right? Purple Rain is 4. I think when we're looking at the list, that's a little high because we got Purple Rain at 4, and then we got Blonde fucking by Frank Ocean at 5. Like, come on, fam. Like, okay, you can give me that's a top 50 album, but you can't fucking give me that's a top 5 album and then have Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder at number 6. So that's why I just don't know about this list. I feel like they just started just throwing songs up by people they
got a motherfucking Frank Ocean album ahead of
Songs in the Key of Life.
Bruh.
And then the top.
I'm glad I had looked at the list. I would have did this whole stream angry.
the top hip hop album that they have. So this is the number 7th album. Is Good Kid, Mad City.
I don't even know, man. I don't
Bro,
even know.
I feel like it's fucked up that people are allowed to get a platform and just start throwing shit up there because Apple is too big of a company to
Where's the Chronic at?
I wouldn't have the Chronic. I don't give a fuck. There's a lot of albums I'd have before ahead of the Chronic too. Like I would have Aquemini and I would have AT Aliens above a Good Kid, Mad City.
Where's Lost? Because that album is shitting on every hip hop album we've mentioned so far except Aquemini.
Yeah,
like Lost and Aquemini are in the top 3 hip hop albums of all time, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
You know, my top 3 hip hop albums of all time. I won't say this. I'm not saying this to defend it from they should be in this list because it's not that I think that these are the greatest albums. These are my favorite, like what are my go-tos. It would probably be the Black Album by Jay-Z.
That's fire.
It would probably be College Dropout by
Crazy.
Kanye. And
yep,
then probably
I can see that.
And probably Aquemini.
And so we share one. Our top 3s have one in common, and that's Aquemini. Because my other 2 are Lost and Bobby Digital and Stereo.
Yeah, we talked about Bobby Digital earlier. You know, I mean, I would say I love it. You know, it's one of my. I mean, I could
round it out to a top 5 by including Rat Assassination and Black on Both Sides.
I would add AT Aliens. So I know that's 2 Outkast albums, but I don't give a fuck, nigga. It's my top 5, and I think
right.
Gemini are 2 of the top 5 albums of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't give a fuck.
Man, when Rat Assassination dropped, that was something that changed how I look at hip hop. It was like hearing Rakim.
And then I'm torn. I can't really pick a top 5 because I have like a couple of albums that we're just talking about hip hop. I'm not talking about everything because I do.
My expertise doesn't extend too terribly far outside of hip hop, if I'm honest. But I do have like a top 3 all time, and only one of them is a hip hop album. You know what I'm saying?
So I would have to go at a bare minimum. I would have to go like a top 6 because Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang forever for me.
No, it's 36 Chambers for me. It's 36, bro. The Art of Chess Boxing, Wu-Tang Clan.
That's crazy.
Fuck it. Just Method Man, all the shit that's on
but
that.
Man, album. Dog shit.
Yeah. Yo, I think that I like Triumph, but I think that 36 Chambers is there, and I think that Doggy Style is there. So those
Doggy Style is up there.
Dude, Doggy Style.
We had a top 25 damn near.
All time, bro. That album is so fucking fire.
Doggy Style was crazy. I had that shit in my Discman on repeat for a long time when it first dropped. Probably that whole year. That shit supplanted the Chronic for me. Because I was on the Chronic, and then Doggy Style came out, and I was like, Snoop Doggy Dogg is the best rapper in the game. And then I started thinking that No Limit had the best beats in the game, and then lo and behold, Snoop Doggy Dogg goes to No Limit and drops one of the firest albums of that decade.
I don't think I'm not where everybody else is at in this world with the Chronic. I mean, I think the Chronic is a good album, but like
I couldn't get over the Chronic when it dropped.
There's only really like I only bump like 3 or 4 songs off the Chronic. You know what I'm saying? I don't bump the whole album. And so
see, the Chronic is one of them albums that for me, I can't even listen to 1 or 2 songs off that shit. I gotta just play the album front to back. It's like a movie to me. The Chronic is like Scarface to me.
That's me in Doggy Style. I know every single word. Well, I mean, that's me in every song that I named in my top 5 because like Yo, I was watching some shit. We're gonna go through this list a little more here in a little bit, but I was watching some shit. I was watching the new Rory and Maul podcast earlier today.
I just started getting hit to them a little bit.
Yeah, I fuck with them. And so they were talking about the list, and they were talking about Kanye. And I mean, like, Julian's one of the people on their pod. And like, I don't really like Julian. If there's one nigga on the podcast, I'm like, fuck you, nigga. It's Julian.
I'm not going to front like Kanye don't got several classic albums, because he certainly does. And he has contributed more to hip hop than probably most singular people.
Bro,
but for me to call him one of the best, he got to be able to rap a little bit better than that.
Let me cook. So with the shit, he was just like, his Dark Twisted Fantasy was a top 10 fucking album, whatever. I'm like, nigga, that's like Kanye's 4th or 5th best album, because his first 3 albums were fucking absolute gold, like absolute gold. You can say whatever you want to about, okay, he can rap a little bit better. He probably could, but he can produce a lot better than me and you combined, you know, or anybody that you know. And so it's like, okay, I get that he's not the greatest rapper, but he's putting together the beats. What's that?
I don't agree with that.
That nigga's producing the beats. That nigga's engineering the tracks. That nigga's fucking rapping on the shit. He's doing more than your average rapper. And I don't know. Them first 3 albums were fucking, all 3 of them shits are top.
I really enjoyed the first one. And if not for Fat Joe's Loyalty album, Kanye's College Dropout would have got a lot more play for me.
That shit that changed my life, bro. Like, when I tell you, like, the Black Album and College Dropout, them albums changed my life, bro.
Because, man, I was banging the shit out of College Dropout. I want to say the same year that I was really hardcore listening to L Genius's The Long Ride. And then Fat Joe dropped Loyalty. And it took all of that, because he had amazing production on that album. And he was rapping his motherfucking ass off, and it was gangster. That was all I needed. And so really Fat Joe came around that same time and supplanted Kanye for me. You know what I'm saying? Because Fat Joe's album was just harder. Like, Kanye's album was dope, but Fat Joe's album was dope and it was hard. Like, it took me in a whole different direction.
Hold on. What we're gonna do? What we're not gonna do is disrespect College Dropout for anything that fucking Fat Joe dropped. So,
man, if you ain't heard Loyalty, go back and listen to that album. That shit was bananas. That shit took College Dropout right out my CD player. I'm sorry.
You're talking to a culture.
I had that experience. Like, that was what happened. You know what I'm saying?
But, bro, okay, this is College Dropout.
Yeah.
The track list, right? Because this is a fire CD.
It was crazy. I was jamming. I knew almost all the words in the first few months that I had it on repeat. But then I got my hands on Loyalty. That shit went to the back seat.
So for some people, there can be skippables, and that's fine because it's a 21-track album. But for me, I just put this in and I listened to the whole album. You got the intro.
Really, the only song I didn't like on College Dropout was the Workout Plan.
Hey, hold on. Let me go through the track list real quick. So we got the
that intro. Was the only one.
We got the intro. We got We Don't Care, which fire, obviously. Graduation Day was fire, and it's short. All Falls Down is one of the greatest fucking hip hop songs of all time.
I don't know about that, but it was crazy though.
Okay. It's not if you don't fucking love black women. If you don't support black women, then sure, it's not one of the greatest.
Don't put something sacred in front of it to try to make it a taboo to not like the song. That's a sneaky fucking trick. Hey, that's some Kendrick Lamar shit that you just tried to pull. Don't do that.
No.
Don't fucking do that. Don't fucking do that, because I can love black women and my mama and everybody else and still not fucking like that song as much as you do. Don't fucking do that.
No, okay, so you took that shit to the wrong extreme. You took it to the extreme of, I said you don't like it. I said if you don't fuck with the song. There's a difference between fucking with
the song
shit.
was fire. I wouldn't
know,
call it
and
the
you
greatest
said,
song of all time or even a contender.
It's one of, because of
I
the
would
message.
pick The Bridge Is Over that.
Well, The Bridge Is Over is dope. And earlier we were talking, I didn't get to actually speak on this point because we went in a different direction with the conversation. But part of the reason why I love hip hop is because at barbecues, and I've said this in videos before, is because the songs that I remember from the barbecues when I was 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, it's been a long time. And The Bridge Is Over, The Bridge Is Over. Like, that's the shit that motherfuckers was bumping at the barbecues where I was at.
And see, I didn't get that, man. My people was too old, I guess. We was at the barbecue and they was playing fucking Phoebe Snow and shit.
That's the shit I get. But All Falls Down, okay, wherever you put the shit, it's still one of the greatest songs in hip hop history. Like, you don't have to put it in. You could say that shit, but the message and the point of the song.
There's other songs on there that I like more. Jesus Walks is a better song than that.
I haven't gotten there yet on the discography. But what I'm saying, so I'm going to go down the list and we're going to talk about each song individually, but we're at song 4 right now. Okay, so, and here's where I'm at. If you don't think All Falls Down is one of the greatest songs ever, that's cool. But you're not
a really dope song to me.
But you're not going to acknowledge it's not a dope song. And like you just said, it's a really dope song to you. I was going to say that next. And so, but it's
I just say one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time is a little bit of a reach for me on that one. It's a really dope song. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know how you can say
Jesus Walks is a better song.
Well, that's okay, but that's fine. But how can you say something's a really great song and then another song's a better song? Okay, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that maybe both of them aren't 2 of the greatest songs of all time. You know?
I don't know if I would say anything on that album is one of the greatest songs of all hip hop songs of all time for me. Because again,
bro,
for me, you got to take it from really dope song to really dope song with a superior MC on it, and there's nothing on there with that.
Go 9. Before we get to the next songs, we have to get to the first songs, and so as we go through this list of shit. We got to go. We can't talk about the 15th song when we're on the 4th song. So like, let's go through this list properly, and then when we get to Jesus Walks, then you can be like, hey, fuck All Falls Down. That shit.
Okay, but look, so let's stay on All Falls Down. I love the concept of the song, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I love the beat. The one thing that for me keeps it at really dope song and keeps it far away from best hip hop song of all time is as dope as the concept is and as competent as he is rapping on that dope ass beat. He's not rapping at a high level.
I think he is, because
he's not.
Okay, so here's why I think he is. I'm a person who raps differently, right? So like I can rap super lyrical, and I can rap as commercial as anybody you've ever heard in your life. You know what I'm saying? And I have no problem fitting in either lane, because I take hip hop for a culture versus just music. So I understand, hey man, I like to fucking dance and I like to jig and I like to do a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear more.
I'm really glad you mentioned that.
But there's other times where I just want to hear a nigga spit. I just want to hear some fucking bars that are gonna fucking be the dopest shit ever.
So let's get into that, because that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I feel like All Falls Down is in the middle of that shit.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. As far as rapping, right? There's one thing to be commercial, right? 50 Cent showed us that you can still be commercial on some MC shit, right? However, you can be commercial on some not so MC shit. Nelly showed us that. We're not talking about either of those examples right now, though. On that song, on All Falls Down, Kanye is rapping competently. By that I mean there is a sufficient level of nuance in his subject matter, and there is a sufficient amount of control he's exhibiting over what he's saying and how he's saying it. However, the way the verse is actually structured is very, very simplistic. Count how many words rhyme in each bar.
But okay. So here's the thing. So there's a lot of people who rap, and there's a lot of people who are really fire and dope at rapping. So who can do this fucking artwork to a top level, to where they can get props, respect, and all that other shit, right? But there's not a lot of people who can tell great stories. And then on the flip, you know what I'm saying? On the flip reverse, there's not a lot of people who can just bar you to death, right? There's not a lot of people like Mike, you know?
Well,
Well, no, let me go. So with 50, when you're talking about 50 and Kanye, I honestly feel like outside of in the club, Kanye is a better rapper than 50 Cent is. And so I don't know. I think that 50 does a better job of promoting himself. And I think that 50 does a great job at like making songs. But when you start talking about songs, like Matt 50 gonna make shit like I got the magic stick, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I'll take you to the candy shop, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna stay in that wheelhouse, and it's gonna be like some catchy ass chorus with a nice beat that he didn't make versus where Kanye made his beat. And then he's gonna make music from there. So if it comes to, okay, maybe you can even say maybe 50 is a better rapper than Kanye, but Kanye is a superior artist to 50 because
okay.
he his beats and he engineers his shit and he does his shit.
Okay,
And
you brought it back around. And so I
so
would agree with that. I would agree with that. I would, because I was gonna say, like, there's no universe where Kanye raps better than 50. But Kanye does write much better songs than 50 does. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
part of being a rapper.
Much, much better. And he
Like,
writes more of the song than 50 does.
and
Hands down.
he's got more. Kanye's got more albums out than 50. I know he has a little bit of ghostwriter help too, but whatever. If I rap,
Man,
well, no, what I'm gonna say is I rap and I make music, and if I could go back in time, and when I was making music in a group, if
so
we
good.
if we could write more of each other's lyrics and help each other and sit in writing sessions, we would have been more successful than we were.
On that
Granted,
ghostwriter shit, check this
granted,
shit out. I'll cite a perfect example, right? Listen to Cannabis's second album, not his first one, his second album, 2000 BC, right? And then listen to his third album, See True Hollywood Stories. I can cite these two albums because as they were coming out, I was the biggest Cannabis fan ever. And this is how I was feeling at the time, right? And I've gone back and listened and reaffirmed these feelings. You know what I'm saying? On 2000 BC, the rapping was flawless. The lyrical composition, everything was there. On See True Hollywood Stories, it all fell apart. Can't nobody tell me that doesn't have a lot to do with the fact that album number 2 was released on a major label and album number 1 was released independently.
I gotta
And
get
when you
so
have a team around you, they may not necessarily be writing your bars, but I'll give you an example. I was on the phone with a homie the other day who I will, for obvious reasons, not name. You know what I'm saying? And he was spitting some shit to me that was fucking crazy. It was nuts. It was
yeah,
insane. Hold on, let me finish this because this is crazy, right? He was spitting this verse to me. At the end of the verse, he had a callback to something he said in the beginning of the verse. And the part at the beginning of the verse, I suggested that he change one syllable, not even a whole word, a piece of a word.
right.
Say it like this instead of like that so it relates better to this callback because you said it more like this at the end. Now, on paper, I would have to get a writer credit for that. Did I ghostwrite for that nigga?
Technically, you did, but You know, if it was me, so you know what I do. You know what I'm saying? You know, I kind of do some of this shit. I kind of do some shit when it comes to ghost producing
Right.
and ghost. I mean, I do shit that y'all niggas don't like. Yo,
That shit is the coolest shit ever when I
yo,
really think
yo,
about it.
yo, I do shit that motherfuckers don't know. Because again, bro, I have 36,000 subscribers. I live by myself. Clearly, you see, I have a decent house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no other job. This is what the fuck I do. So when I be telling you I do other shit that y'all just don't know, I for real do other shit y'all niggas don't know. How the fuck you think I make it to support myself, motherfucker? Like shit. I don't go to work. I can get on stream every fucking day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 in the morning. I haven't put out as many videos lately because I'm trying to put together a new concept of the way that I want to put together my videos and drop these shits. And so I just don't want to keep doing videos because if I just keep putting out videos, I'm going to keep doing them the same that I'm doing them. And so I'm trying to do a bunch of different shit. So, and other things that y'all don't see is like, I've probably recorded 12 videos that you motherfuckers will never see. When I say motherfuckers, I mean, you know, the folks I love and shit. But y'all will
You
never see.
motherfuckers!
Yeah.
Oh, you motherfuckers!
But I've got a bunch of videos that y'all will never see just because I'm trying to put together different angles and different kind of videos, creating beats or creating music or doing stuff. And so it's just stuff that it's never going to come out. So it's like it takes a long time to edit that shit and then decide you're not going to put the shit out because it's like I want to go. Once I figure out the direction I want to go with the channel, that's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to do reviews. I'm still going to do all the shit that I do, but I want to do more shit. I want to be able to put out daily content. So if I'm doing newscast once or twice a week, I got the newscast. And then if I have some shit where I'm creating beats and I'm using like the equipment, then I'm doing that once a week. And it's like going to be like kind of like some retrospective shit. Or then if I'm doing just like a couple of different reviews on products a week, you know, I got those. Or if I want to do like, if I want to do like, you know, watching a channel and reacting and shit, I can do that. I mean, I just want to have a bunch of different options, you know? I don't want to just be pigeonholed into a lane of doing the same shit every day, you know? But I want to put up.
You gotta come on my channel and we gotta get into a discussion about these bars more, man. Cause look, we need to get a few more motherfuckers and get a round table and talk about different deep tech MC techniques. Because I feel like a lot of shit gets glossed over in hip hop and passed off as MCism. And a lot of motherfuckers don't know how deeply technical some of this shit gets.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think that when it comes to like actually spitting bars, there's a lot of people who don't really understand what spitting bars are. And so like I encourage anybody to listen to hip hop that wants to. You know, I encourage if you want to become part of the culture, you know, do your research and learn really what the culture is because hip hop isn't just music, it's culture. So just research that shit and then hop on in here, you know. But before you're so boisterous with your opinion and your voice, just make sure that you're knowledgeable of what's happened in the past because I just don't like the not understanding why lyricism is so important. But I also don't like the not understanding why commercial is so important because they're both important, you know? Like I can't go to the club and dance and shake my ass if niggas not. Hold on one second. I gotta piss, bro. I really gotta piss and I gotta grab some soy sauce.
Okay.
But you can
I'll
keep
keep the
talking.
audience entertained where you going. You know I can't shut the fuck up.
No, that's what I was trying to say a minute ago. You can talk. I just gotta go piss.
I got you.
All right.
So on that MC shit, like I was talking before, right? And so I feel like a lot of shit gets glossed over and passed off as MC shit because it's over a certain type of beat or because a motherfucker got a certain type of energy on the track. And as MCs like stomp down like for real bust your head with a verse, it ain't all about that. It ain't all about just having some shit to say that the average motherfucker can relate to. Like, case in point, you can say some shit where just the last two parts of each bar rhyme with each other, or you can play with what combinations of rhyme patterns you have structured throughout each bar and how each bar relates to another at different places throughout the verse. Like a minute ago, I was just talking about a homie who had a callback at the end of his verse, reminding you of something he had said at the beginning of his verse and kind of flipping it a different way. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why he was spitting that verse to me is because we were having a discussion about entendre. And he said, I got a quintuple entendre, right? He's about to let me hear just that line. I'm like, I want to hear the whole verse. And so he spit the whole verse. And I told him the little bit of change of a syllable in that first part changed it from a quintuple entendre to a sextuple entendre. You know what I'm saying? To the point where we was both jumping up and down like a couple of bitches. Like, oh my God, nigga, this shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's high level MC. You know what I'm saying? To the point where when you look at like some of these URL battle rappers, some of the top dudes, and if you think for 1 second these niggas ain't got think tanks where a few of them niggas, sometimes the two niggas that's battling each other is getting together over the phone or in person and bouncing ideas off each other. Oh, it'd be so much liver if you did it like this, flip it on his head. Oh yeah, nigga, hold on, let me do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's one thing.
When you get to a high level of MCing, there's no shame in that shit. Because I'll kick a freestyle off my head that'll bust the average nigga's ass, kicking his best writtens. And all of us in this little group can do that. And so when it comes down to, oh yeah, such and such showed me how to do it to where I flipped it around this way, and now listen to it. Nah, spit that shit. There's no shame in that shit because nigga, any one of us will bust your ass. Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's why when you have these roundtables as high level MCs, I'm not talking about a nigga telling you, oh, here, look, listen, spit it like this, and you ain't an MC and you pretending like you are. That's not what we talking about. I'm talking about a room full of head busters, bouncing ideas off each other and coming up with some shit. That's fire. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. So I got like 1,000 things going on. Like if y'all knew how life be sometimes, why y'all don't get a lot from me is because like I'm always doing some shit. I'm always talking to somebody, some company, or somebody from some company. Like a lot of time it consists of me having a conversation with somebody about doing some shit. So it's like I would stream more, but it's like I'm always talking to people. So sometimes I be thinking to myself, hey, I'm gonna get up and get on stream. Like this nigga knows I always hit him up and I'm like, hey, do you want to get on stream? Hey, do you want to get on stream with me? Hey, do you want to get on stream?
Be out on these rollerblades,
but am I lying?
the damn fool in these streets.
But bro, am I lying?
Not at all.
But then
Not at all.
Talking to you, somebody hits me up, and then I'm in like a 45-minute conversation with a company about some shit. And like a lot of my time consists of talking to people about potential connections and stuff like that, so that I can do, obviously everybody knows what they want from me. They want videos and shit. So a lot of my time consists of just talking to people, because there's a lot of times I talk to people too for free. I give free game away. So I'm not a dick. I'm not an asshole. So I talk to a lot of companies, and even if I'm not going to do a review of your product or whatever, or I may like it or may not like it, I like actually put in time checking it out, testing the shit, and giving you feedback or
I do
email.
hope that one company do reach out to you, man. I got high hopes about that because I'm very, very interested in what they got to offer.
They're not going to reach out, but they took my ad down. So at least I haven't seen the ad in weeks, and so, that's all I wanted. That's literally why I made the video. I didn't make the video to.
No, not that one. The one I was trying to plug you in with the other day. I hope they reach out.
Yeah, I'll figure that shit out. I got a lot of shit going on right now though. So like my main focus is, I think I told you that I have the Heritage Audio 73 Pro
I'm
Edge.
excited to see that.
Yeah, and I can talk about it. I've messaged the company, so I know I'm good to talk about the shit. I
I'm
can't
excited to see that.
of it yet, but I have to wait till the release date to do a review. But I'm allowed to post pictures and talk about it. So
I am really excited to see that one. I don't know what had me thinking it was out already. I do not know because I did. I thought it was out already because when Neve dropped theirs and they were like, "This is the first ever Neve 1073 interface," and I was like, "Wait a minute, what about that shit?" But now I know why because the shit ain't even out yet. But they announced it a long fucking time ago. You know what I'm saying?
They announced it at the beginning of the year. And then they had some videos, and then it was at Super Booth, and it was at NAMM. So those are the two biggest, two of the biggest conferences for music equipment. So it was there, and people got to see it and touch it and play it and mess with it. But I just know Heritage Audio, and they are a good company. So
I fuck with them heavy.
Yeah. So I know that this is going to be a fire ass interface. Like I know the interface is about to be the centerpiece of my studio because I have a.
Oh, you about to switch over?
What's that?
You about to switch over to that one as the main one?
As soon as I get it, yeah.
That's worthwhile because that shit probably sounds good as fuck, nigga. I got they HA81A, the 1081 clone upstairs. That shit sounds. Oh.
Yeah, and see that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna keep that. That's gonna always be the main fixture of my home studio, because I have.
That's worthwhile.
Well, I think I have an Apollo Twin X Duo, and then I have the.
That's getting a little long in the tooth.
Well, but I have the Warm Audio 1073 preamp that you know what I'm saying that I would send the mic into. So it's like
that's some shit.
Yeah, it's not gonna get long in the tooth if I'm just using the line in.
But though, you know what though, man? You know what I like about the Warm 1073 specifically that I've never seen anybody talk about? The fact that the Warm has a high frequency is variable. On the OG 1073, the high frequency adjustment on the EQ is fixed, and on almost all the clones. But on the Warm one,
yeah. No, that's a normal talking point. I think I feel like that's a normal talking point.
But on the Warm one, they have a variable high frequency, and that's something that even the OG 1073 doesn't have. That's the reason why I got a 1081 clone instead of a 1073 clone, because I wanted all four bands. I wanted all my EQ bands to be variable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's because there's two different Warm Audio 1073s. There's the one with the EQ, and there's the one without the EQ.
Yeah.
So I think that a main talking point though is what you're saying. Maybe
on
that
EQ, yeah.
Maybe
I've never seen anybody talk about it. I almost bought that one because of that. And that shit only like $600 or $700 or something like that, $800.
It's like $800,
something like that. Like cheap as hell. It sounds pretty good, and it got a variable high frequency. So when I want to dime my fucking airband, I can pick whether I want to do that shit at 8, 12, or 15.
Well, I want to hear this one. I'll get it on Wednesday. It comes Wednesday, so I'll give y'all updates and I'll talk about the shit. Because again, I'm not under our trade embargo.
That Heritage joint probably sounds so good. It got some transformers sticking right out the top of the fucking interface.
I hear it right away. Like I'm not gonna like talk about it. Like I'm just doing my due diligence, and I'm pretty sure what I'm saying right now is cool. I think everything I'm saying right now in conversation I can say, because I'm allowed to advertise the shit. You know, like I don't work for them. I don't have it, so I don't know how great it is yet. I'm just telling you what I think it's going to be because I think that their 1073 preamp was fire as fuck. So if
Hell
they
yeah.
put technology in their 1073 into an
I could
interface,
say that. I could vouch for that firsthand.
yeah. So it's going to be fire. So I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say positive things about some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm not. They've already announced it. It's already out. There's already videos out on the shit. You know,
It looks so fire. The main thing that I'm so excited about is how you can load third-party plugins in a DSP thing. That
bro.
shit is bonkers.
Bro, I was thinking about that shit after we talked. So we had initially talked about, when was this, yesterday? Was it yesterday?
Like or yesterday or the day before, something like that.
Yeah. So we talked about some shit, and it was like he's the one who told me that you can have 3 third-party plugins because I didn't know. I didn't know if the DSP was going to be third-party too. So then I went and did a bunch of research, and I went and did some more looking, and I watched a bunch of videos.
That shit is nuts, right?
Bro, that shit is insane, bro.
That shit is crazy.
This interface can literally be the standard for interfaces moving forward. And
because it got the best of both worlds. From what it on paper, it got the best of both worlds. It has an actual genuine fucking Neve Mariner transformer sticking out the top of that bitch. 2 of them. You can see that shit. And on top of that,
it has ADAT, nigga, so I can run
right. And then on top of that, it's got DSP with slots that you could load in for your fucking input channels. And you could load third-party. Nigga, I could put my Chef's Omni channel in the move. Bruh, are you kidding me?
Fam, yo, that's what I'm thinking about. Like when I'm looking at this, because it's like, okay, I got the preamp on there. Now I can get my LA2A on there. So now, like, because again, I fuck with universal audio plugins. And so like the LA2A plugin is my go-to, you know, for my compressor or my vocals.
And I'm in the Waves camp.
I mean, it's still the LA2A. That's all.
Same shit, right?
But you know, although the universal audio dominates the Waves one because I have them both. You know, I fuck with Waves too. You know, shout out to Waves.
I get that. It might be better.
I can put that shit on there. I can put an EQ on there, and then I can even do experimental shit where then I can bust this shit the fuck out and then not print this shit and have reverb and delay on there. So when I'm listening, I know what it's going to sound like as I'm going. I've got all that DSP in there, but I really do have my whole entire plug-in chain on my vocals, and I can hear what the shit sounds like in real time.
Man, if that shit had just 2 more features, I would already be on board. I would need it to also have a talkback system.
It does.
And also, I would need it to have a little bit more sophisticated monitor control. I like to flip the phase and invert the I like to flip it to mono and then invert the phase on one channel to hear the sides.
My nigga, it's the edge. The one I'm getting is the top of the line one, the top tier.
I want to say it's missing those 2 features because
you can with talkback. Talkback is simple to do if you have 2 headphone outputs.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to use one of my mic channels.
Yeah, but you have 6 channels, and then you have ADAT. So
but see, the reason I was saying that is because my studio I have those Arturia interfaces, and the new one, the 16 rig, has a routing matrix. And so if I was to put that fucking Heritage interface, ADAT out to the 16 rig with on my outboard shit,
you're missing the important part. If you're recording somebody in another room, you're not going to be recording 5 people. So you have other input slots that you can use on the interface. And
but I use a lot of shit with all this other.
But no, I'm not done. But if you're going to get to a point to where you're recording more than, because talkback doesn't matter unless you're recording more than one thing at a time. If you're
no, we be vibing on that shit.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is talkback is only important if it's you and another nigga at your house, right?
Right.
And you and that nigga are recording, but you have 6 channels. Talkback's not a thing because you have a fucking microphone to record. No, let me finish. Let me finish. But if you start recording a band and you want to start recording multiple drums and multiple kicks and hi-hats and all that other shit, that's going to take like 12 to 16 channels. So again, talkback doesn't have to be a thing because you just get ADAT. So like talkback isn't going to be the barrier.
The reason why
near you.
The reason why I don't want to use up one of my mic channels for the talkback is actually 2 reasons. Number one is I actually use a lot of those input channels to keep certain shit just plugged in all the time, so shit's just always live. And number two, when it comes to you know exactly what I'm talking about. But number two is when it comes to utilizing the ins and outs on that routing matrix, it gets very, very confusing for me anyway, when it comes to shit that I feel like should always be where it's at. Like my monitor channels, my talkback channels, that shit I don't like to fuck with. And so adding the talkback channel through another just regular input channel for me is going to further complicate my workflow because I'm used to my talkback just being this button and it's always just this button and I don't have, it's never in the way when I'm organizing my other routing setups. You know what I'm saying?
See, the way that I have my shit set up, that wouldn't be a problem for me because like I don't know if this is how I'm gonna do my shit. I'm gonna be honest, but how I'm thinking right now is so you see I have the mixer right here, right? You know what I'm saying? Mixer. So obviously it's an easy fix for me because everything runs into the mixer, and then the mixer runs into the preamp, and then the preamp runs into the interface. And so it's an easy fix. But I don't know if I'm going to leave it like this once I get this new interface. I might just set everything up through ADAT. So that I can run everything through the 1073 channels. But I mean, I get the point of how you run shit, but my boy, you can find one channel that you can use for talkback.
Man,
if
I'll be running shit every which way in this.
Now listen, if the difference is between 1,500, okay, I'm going to spend $1,500 on this interface, or I gotta spend, $800 for, boy, it's fucking, what is it, 1,500 for 2 channels. So it'd be $100 for the 2 channel, either one. I think Heritage Audio or WA73. It might be 1,200. It's 12. I mean, but no, listen. Now let me cook. So you can spend $1,500 for the preamp for 2 channels, and then you can buy an interface, which still has to be clean and nice. So you spend another $1,000 on a preamp. So now you spend $2,500 to get what you can get out of this $1,500 preamp and just setting up another channel. So you have to think it's $1,000 worth the difference when it's all about functionality.
That's where I'm at actually.
And then you can even get a patch bay for $200, and then you can run everything through the patch bay, and you've still saved yourself $800.
Right. Well, I mean, that's where I'm at though. I've already spent the 2 racks. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm using right now is I got the Arturia Audio Fuse Studio, which has all of those monitoring capabilities I was talking about. And then I also have the Arturia Audio Fuse 16 rig, which has 16 ins and 8 outs and a routing matrix, so AKA a digital patch bay, right? And that's how I run all my hardware in and out because I have those 2 interfaces. Now, if the new Heritage joint had those 2 additional monitor features, it could replace the Audio Fuse Studio for me as the brain of the situation, and I could use that and the 16 rig, and I could just get rid of my 1073 clone because I'll have however many channels, you know what I'm saying? And so I could maybe sell that HA81 for probably, I don't know, $800. I could probably sell the Audio Fuse Studio for $700. You know what I'm saying? And then buy this.
Let me tell you something
But
funny.
I would be missing those monitoring features at that point.
Let me tell you something funny. So I just like came over here to my internet to like kind of see what everything was looking like on the socials. And I looked at my I didn't realize I had so many fucking Twitch subscribers. Fuck, I don't even get on Twitch.
I heard
Might have
Twitch
to-
was the shit.
I don't, but I'm not young. I'm not like yo, I don't know. Did you see the Kevin Hart, any of the Kevin Hart and Kai Cenat stream? Because that shit is classic. That's a top fucking 5 moment of this year. Like for real. Like it's a really good stream, bro. Like, because Kevin Hart's never streamed before in his life. And you know, Kai Cenat's the top streamer. And they're the same kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Like they're funny with their all with their whole self. I don't know how to explain that that shit, but like, you know, like Dave Chappelle's funny because he uses his mind and he tells stories. Kevin Hart's funny because he's a funny ass nigga. Like he's good at reacting back and acting and like you know how Kevin Hart, he's fucking funny, nigga. I don't care what nobody.
He got some good jokes too. He got some good jokes.
Yo, in person, like when Kevin Hart's with other people, he's one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life. He's because he's just funny. Like his comedy specials, if you don't like him, I'm cool with that shit. I don't fuck with his comedy specials like that. But him as a person,
enjoy them.
I enjoy him more when he gets with people like on sets and he's like just like interacting. That's when I fucking think Kevin Hart is at his best. Like he's fucking.
I haven't seen much of that.
Oh, he's a like when we are like with on NBA on TNT with Charles and Chuck.
Oh, no, I haven't seen much of that.
Yeah, whenever he's anywhere, he's super dope. So that's kind of what I like about him. God damn it! I've been drinking. Shit, but. Oh yeah, so him and Kai had a stream. Bro, stream was top tier, like one of the best streams you'll ever see in your life. Like, it's so fucking funny. It feels like Kevin Hart gave us a free comedy special. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm gonna have to check that shit out.
Bro, there's a part in this comedy or not in this comedy special, but in this live stream, Kevin Hart's definitely scared of animals. And if you follow him, you know that shit. Because every time they get him on a show and they bring out animals, the nigga acts crazy. You know, I mean, like, it's not a play. It's not, this shit ain't fake. You know that.
Funny as fuck.
Bro, Kai Cenat has the what's in this box challenge where they reach into a box and figure out what's in a box. And fucking there's a bird in the box when fucking Kai's going into this shit. Kevin's in the room. This nigga Kevin Hart, bro, dead sprints out of the fucking room and then like just I can't explain this shit, but it's so fucking funny because he fucking runs out of the room and slams the door and he's out of there, right? And he comes back in and he's doing other shit to make sure Kai's okay because the bird's flying around. But it's not like no fake shit. It's not like he's acting. So like so then they run this shit back. Like maybe like a half hour later when they finish the challenge, they watch the shit in slow motion. And they fucking give a play-by-play of what Kevin's thinking, what Kai's thinking. And like, bro, it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. I can't even lie. It's so fucking funny because Kevin, you can tell he's really scared. Like that nigga, he's scared of animals. Like he really is. I'm not knocking the nigga.
That's hilarious.
But bro, fam. This shit is so fucking funny, man. It is so funny when they break.
I haven't seen much of his unscripted stuff. I've really only seen the specials, which I enjoyed tremendously. Or what's the word? I enjoyed immensely. You know what I'm saying?
That's not where I fuck with Kevin Hart. I fuck with Kevin Hart more on the other side. You know, like
in his movies. I fuck with him in his movies from way back. Matter of fact, I just rewatched Get Hard the other day. That shit is a riot. You seen Get Hard? I've seen Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I've seen most of his movies, but I don't really.
And T.I. gives a motherfucking magnificent performance in that movie.
I'm not really like a Kevin Hart. I'm not really a movie fan of his either. I mean, I fuck with his movies. Like, I mean, Right Along was dope. Like,
you don't remember Paper Soldiers?
one of my favorite scenes in Ride Along is like with Gary Owen. You know what I'm saying? Where he's all fucking so yeah, you know, like I mean, I fuck with Kevin Hart, but I just don't.
Because I think I was fucking with him in movies before I even knew he was a stand-up comedian. Because Paper Soldiers is old as fuck. When that nigga stood up, it was like, and I am a bitch.
That's a scene. That's a classic scene in fucking in our culture. That's a classic. That's a classic.
I do believe that was before any of his stand-up specials. You know what I'm saying?
When Kevin Hart became a factor in my life was when whatever comedy special that came out where when he was like, damn it, what the fuck did that nigga say? You gonna learn today. When that shit,
we're talking about his dad in them sweatpants. That's how gray sweatpants became a thing.
Yo, when that shit came out, that's when I started fucking with Kevin Hart and like heavy because that shit was funny as fuck. I'm not going into the whole skit because that's a fucking that skit goes so many different ways and where you start.
I got a whole lot of Yamin off of him making that a cultural phenomenon. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna say long dick nigga, you know what I'm saying? Long dick style nigga.
Nigga, he changed sweatpants, and I've been never mind. Next topic.
Yeah, I mean, I already know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you know, we have the same elk, I guess. But you know what I'm saying? Pause. But I that's where that's like the point of my life where I started fucking with Kevin Hart and his shit. Cause that's when he became funny to me. And then I don't really yeah, I mean, I fuck with Kevin Hart, but he wasn't really like
I want to say Soul Plane was early too.
Yeah, but that was just cool. I'm not really like a Soul Plane connoisseur. So I'm not the nigga that you're gonna get on a conversation with and he's gonna be like, oh, Soul Plane was his cult classic. I would prefer
see with me, anytime you put more than 2 rappers in a movie, I'm there for it.
Soul Plane was cool. It was a great movie. I mean, sometimes I hate like when we talk about our movies that we like because it wasn't a good movie, but it was a good movie. You know what I'm saying? It was like a good movie, like to watch and laugh at and have a good time and enjoy and shit. The movie was awful, but it was a good movie. You know, but I just don't.
Awful?
What's that?
You thought it was awful?
No, I'm saying it's a good movie, but by typical movie standards, it was awful.
I like the plot line and everything. And it had such a star-studded cast that it was really undeniable for me. John Witherspoon gave a wonderful performance in that movie, as did, what's her name? Chocolat, who I already liked a lot as anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Fam,
she had me rolling through the whole thing. And Kevin Hart did his motherfucking thing.
Bam, I'm gonna give you my Kevin Hart right now. So you're not gonna look me in the camera. You're not gonna tell me that was a good movie. Like, look.
Enjoyed it thoroughly.
Right now.
Now, I will say a movie.
No, stop. We have a moment. And in the moment's good. But in this moment, we're not gonna act like
2 thumbs up for that one. Now, a hood classic movie that I will say is a bad movie that don't get enough credit for being as bad as it is because of the hood classic is Scarface. That is a terrible fucking film. You know what I'm saying?
I can't comment right now. You put my back against the wall. You know what I'm saying? That's
Scarface is worse than The Godfather Part 3.
Really?
Yeah.
You put my back against the wall because I don't even think The Godfather 3 is bad. I think all the Godfathers are good. I even think
I like Godfather Part 2.
They wrote a book called Godfather Returns, and it's the prequel to The Godfather. And I think that book is also fire as well. Like I'm gonna
need to check that out.
Yeah, it's called Godfather Returns, and it's the
prequel. Literally, I'm gonna skate up to the library.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Tech. It's a real book. I read that shit. I don't want to tell you where I read it, but it's a real book. I read.
They probably got that shit at the library.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get it. But Yeah, Godfather Part 2 is the best of that series. Just I feel the same way as everybody do on that. But Scarface was a really terrible movie when it really come down to it. And we really, really fuck with that shit because he did some audacious shit in the movie. He did and said some audacious shit in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And we from a camp that emulated some of that audacious shit. And that's what it was all about for that movie. But if you look at that movie as a whole, objectively, 2 thumbs down. Horrible movie.
Oh, man.
And the main character
That's what I'm
dies
telling
at
you
the end
about,
in
bro.
the stupidest fucking way possible. Wasn't nobody coming in the back door, my G.
I can't agree. And Smoke Green, somebody commented, they said it's a trashy 80s crime action movie and they treat it like Godfather. I think the reason why they treat it like Godfather is because of the braggadocious swag
No,
of Tony Montana. We
no,
all know,
chill on me in the morning.
we
Ain't
all
that
know,
right, friend?
we all know drug dealers like Mike Corleone, and we all know drug dealers like motherfucking my nigga from
I don't know no niggas like that, man. Did you, man? Well.
you
No,
know
I
me.
don't know no niggas like that,
You've
man.
you've met me before in life. Did you forget why you had to come to the house one day? Again, that's
You was low keto.
but there's two different sides of being somebody that's grimy and that pushes shit. I'm not a drug dealer, no more. I don't do that shit. I'm good. I just want to make sure I put that out there. The statute of limitations is over on anything that I've done in my life, so y'all can kiss my ass.
But man, the thing that fucked up Tony Montana is he was so audacious. That shit would never.
That, bro. When I get into telling stories about some of the parties that we used to have, and I start
parties
talking
were
about
crazy. I got arrested at a few of those parties.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like when I get into like talking about this shit and actually breaking down shit that I've done, or like it's not a flex. Nothing I'm ever saying is a flex, but I've done so much crazy shit in my life. I've done some crazy shit. I've got stories, bro. And so it's like start telling some of these stories and just some of the shit that there are drug dealers like Tony Montana, and I'll probably if in
I've
my
heard
day
some stories.
I would have
heard some stories. But
more
man, that movie was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Fucking, oh my God. That movie was insane. You know what I'm saying? That fucking house was stupid as fuck. Like, man.
We used to do shit in my crib where it was like we would draw designs with shit. And so I'm not going to get into too much detail, but you know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. And so instead of just taking a regular rail, we would like draw designs. And I had like this big ass fucking, I don't know if you remember, I had this big ass fucking table. It was like a glass table, and that bitch was like this big by that big. It was big as fuck. My whole wingspan was what this table was. Like carrying the glass piece up, I had to stretch my arms all the way out. And we used to draw like happy faces and designs and all kinds of shit on this table. And, we would just take turns going at the fucking table and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, it was always a thing. You come over to my house and like everybody would wild out. All the bitches would be all crazy, all the dudes. It was fucking the greatest time ever. It was literally like I was living the life of Scarface. So like when you're saying that's just not realistic, it actually is because there's two different being a dealer.
To an extent, but man.
Let me get this last piece off. So me and Dub were completely different. So Dub would always sit at his house and chill. But me and him worked together. You know what I'm saying? So like we worked together in order to do what we did. And so like he was calm and laid back. He was Michael Corleone. And my black ass is Tony Montana. I'm over here fucking wow. I mean, like, nigga, I'm literally fucking Tony fucking Montana. But a black
Tony Montana.
I'm not fucking no, bro. That's the funniest shit. I was literally fucking Tony Montana. I was living that life. Because again, remember, I was a manager at these places where there were hundreds of people working there. And they're all coming over to my house and Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know the grind, the hustle.
Man, I just remember looking at that movie.
I could say the shit now though because it's past the statute of limitation. This shit was a long time
and thinking like, this shit don't work. It don't work like this. It just don't work like this.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what's really, really funny? It was this one movie that me and my homie watched that is like, you can't really call it a cult classic because you can't even really find it nowhere no more. But it was this movie made by one of the dudes in the Wu-Tang, Power. And it was a movie called Black and White. And it's a famous line in our clique, like amongst our niggas. You'll know as soon as you hear it that it came from that movie. And the only niggas who know it came from that movie is just a handful of us because this movie is like nowhere to be found now. They got like 3 or 4 members of the Wu in it, got a few famous actors and actresses in it. And it's a great movie on some abstract Sundance theater type shit, right? And it's this one scene where this nigga walks into this fucking bar and says, I need 75% of this shit right here. 75% me.
I need
25% you and your guys. And look, that became such the most legendary line in our camp.
No. The most legendary line in our camp is not gonna be able to do it. Not going down, not gonna be able to do it.
Oh man, that came much later though, man. That 75% line got mileage though. Yeah. Oh my God, we wore that shit out.
Still use that shit. Niggas still that shit goes down.
But that shit got miles and miles.
That not gonna be able to do it was the bar. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like anytime anybody asks you to do some shit you ain't trying to do, not gonna be able to do it. Not going down. That was the bar, nigga. That was the
man.
That was the
shit. Bruh. That shit right there. I went and found that movie a few months ago. Actually found it. It took a while. It took a few days for me to track that shit down and rewatch that shit. And when it got to that scene, I could not fucking contain myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that shit right there, I know that shit works. I seen a nigga do it. I seen a nigga do it. You know what I'm saying? And it came from that movie. And when I saw it, I was like, no.
You know how you know I'm
You can't keep a straight face.
You know how you know I got egg rolls for dinner. Most people get like food for dinner. I was like, let me get 2 steak egg rolls, 2 chicken egg rolls, and 2 pork egg rolls.
Well, like, I can't feel you on them last 2, but them first 2 sounded fire, and them second 2 sounded all right too. You know what I'm saying?
The pork was just the regular Chinese egg roll. The other 2 were the cheesesteaks.
Right.
So I was like, let me just get 6 egg rolls eating for dinner tonight.
Yo, do they got the cream cheese in the cheesesteak egg rolls?
Yeah. But I don't like the
5.
No, I don't like the yum sauce with egg rolls, and because they give you the yum sauce, but it's like
I'm cool on the yum sauce. That ain't nothing but mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yeah, but it's good with other shit. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good with other shit. Depending on where you go, though, obviously there's more shit in there. So some people put Worcestershire sauce. Some people will put some garlic. You know, some people do more shit with the yum sauce. Their yum sauce is good. It's not like just regular mayo and ketchup. But I don't like yum sauce with
mayo chup. You can get that shit. Heinz got a mayo chup squeeze bottle in the grocery store that goes fire on everything.
I don't like ketchup. So I'm like
some garlic powder on that shit.
Nigga, I don't fuck with ketchup, bro. Like for real. Like I mean I'll eat it like sometimes, but I don't really I'm never gonna request ketchup. If it's
I'll put ketchup on French fries sometimes.
Ranch.
I will Sometimes I'll have ketchup and mustard and mayo on a burger with pickles and onions.
If it comes on there, I'll eat. That's how I'll eat it. Like I'm not
That's the
picky.
classic burger to me. And sometimes I
Yeah,
just want that.
I'm cool with
Pickles,
that.
onions, ketchup, mustard, mayo. You
But
know what I'm saying?
if I get to dress my burger, I'll take the ketchup, the mayo, and the mustard off, and I'll either put A1 sauce on the burger instead as the dressing, or I'll put mayo and sriracha. So I'll like make a little mixture of mayo and sriracha with a little bit of garlic and I'll use bread.
It
If
just
I'm
depends on what mood I'm in for real. Because
what
sometimes I want a mushroom
that's
Swiss burger.
I'll do
And
that too.
sometimes I want a barbecue ranch burger. And so you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
I'll do that,
sometimes I just want a stadium burger.
but I'm saying with most things, the only thing that I really like ketchup on is like pause a sausage sandwich pause because any kind like a hot dog, like Italian sausage, like bratwurst, whatever the fuck, whatever a hot link, whatever the fuck the sausage sandwich is gonna be. Pause. Sausage, hot dog is a sandwich. I don't give a fuck what y'all say, but whatever kind of the sandwich is gonna be, I like ketchup on my shit. You know what I'm saying? I can do
Now,
barbecue. I can
back in
switch,
the day when I used to eat pig's ass, um,
but you can eat beef hot dogs and beef sausage too. So this
well,
conversation goes.
yeah, but I don't even really like imitation pig's ass. Like, it just don't seem like food to me.
That's the
Like, you
best.
know what I'm saying?
Hot dogs are better than pork hot dogs.
I just not. Once I stopped eating pork, which now is forever ago, I stopped eating imitation pork as well. I don't eat turkey bacon or turkey sausage or beef hot dogs or none of that shit. Beef ribs, none of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like to me, it's just like I don't really need anything that's even like pork. You know what I'm saying? But I remember from back in the day, the best hot dog was the Chicago dog, which was a beef hot dog to begin with, a beef sausage to begin with. I remember that clearly. Second best, shout out to Cleveland. How dare I even start to forget? I got y'all. Second best is obviously the Cleveland Polish boy. You know what I'm saying? But that Chicago dog was top tier. You know what I'm saying?
I think when it comes to dogs, it's all subjective to what you like. Chicago dogs are cool. I mean, again, I was born in Illinois, so we still got a Bulls hat on. So Chicago dogs are cool, but my favorite dog is always going to be a chili dog. So like, if I can get a good chili dog with some onions, I'm not really particular on the cheese, so it can be, it can be Mexican, it can be
You know
Kobe.
what? You probably never had a Cleveland Polish boy though before, huh?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the.
I'm gonna link you up with Low. It's so many Cleveland niggas down there in Atlanta. I'm sure you could get one. You just need the Cleveland nigga with you to point you in the right direction. That's will probably supplant best hot dog for you. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be hard though because I feel like
Man, just wait till I ain't even gonna tell you no details about it. If it's anybody from Cleveland in the chat, let this nigga know. You know what I'm saying?
the hard thing about that is, for me, I like bacon and I like chili. So if I can get a chili dog with bacon on it, there's not gonna be much that can supplant that because I like chili a lot. I'm like that's one of my favorite meals. So it's not one of those things where it's like going against the Cleveland dogs is gonna be hard. But I like chili more than I like hot dogs. And so like if I can get something I like a lot on top of a hot dog with some bacon, nigga, and some cheese, nigga, fuck that shit, nigga. Hey, on top of that shit, bro.
Just
Not
wait
much.
till you try one.
No,
I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna link you up with Low. I'm gonna tell him that you never had a Polish boy before. He'll find you some Cleveland niggas with a restaurant in town or something. You get one. Because even if the restaurant don't sell that, if it's some Cleveland niggas that run it, you can ask them for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Fucking. So let's get back to this list for a few more minutes.
Yes.
I'm mad that I have no more beers. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I thought I had a shot. I don't know. I swear to God, I had a fucking shot. Like I thought I bought a shot. I thought she put the shot in my bag, but oh shit, I got a shot. I had to think to myself, where the fuck is my bag at? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was out there looking for this shit earlier. I wish I
I've had
would have.
enough to drink, apparently.
Yeah, I got a shot. I was just thinking to myself, I know I bought a shot when I went to the stove because I always say this shit on stream. The girl who works at the liquor store is fine as shit, dude, and she doesn't even know how gorgeous she is, and she's all quiet and introverted, but she is.
Tell her.
She's a 10, my boy.
Tell
She's
her.
10. She's a
Say,
10.
hey,
I'm not now. I don't.
you are very beautiful.
Look, let me give you some more of my Kevin Hart. Look, we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't be trying to hit on her because she's at work. You know.
Yeah, you don't have to hit on her. Just tell her you think she's beautiful.
Oh,
People like to hear shit like that.
I told her some nice shit before. We're cool. We're really cool. Like I go in there, and I know how she is. Like you know how people are. If you were in last night's stream, you could tell. Obviously, I get along with. This isn't just you. This is for anybody watching. If you were in last night's stream and you saw me and you know what I'm saying, Gene. Why am I having a brain fart? Oh my god! If you see me and Leah last night, I don't know how the fuck I had a brain fart, but you'll see I'm like good with women. I'm not saying that like to like she ain't interested in me, but you'll see like how the conversation went. That's how all my conversations go with every girl. So it's like, you know, and like so I go in there every day, and me and her chop it up, and we're super cool and we're super nice. Like I can tell I be in line, and she don't speak. She doesn't talk. She doesn't even like open her mouth. But then when I come in, she's like, hey, you know, she's all nice and shit because, you know, I've broken down those walls of all that other shit. So I always crack jokes and shit. I mean, when I tell y'all, this girl is an absolute 10, bro. She's gorgeous. She's either she's some kind of Middle Eastern or like Northern African, but she's gorgeous.
That's cool as fuck. How many languages do you think she speaks?
More than me, nigga. I only speak one in a shady amount of Spanish.
I've never met anybody from Africa that spoke fewer than 4 languages.
Oof, what's up, Davi? Oof.
That shit is amazing to me.
Oof.
I met people that speak as many as like 14 languages. You know what I'm saying? And then they say, but my main language is French. And I just be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Africans, I know. I mean, I know most people in different countries speak a lot of languages. That's one thing that I wish that we did better of a job as a country is that the world's a weird thing because when you sit back and if you really think about this world, most countries know more about the United States than the United States knows about them. So most people know about our states and shit like that. But part of that is because the USA, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of countries, but the USA takes up 4% of the world, and the USA mass is bigger than Europe minus Russia. So if you took Russia out of Europe, the USA would be bigger than Europe, and it's just one country versus a continent.
right.
So the reason why they know so much about us is because they watch our movies, they watch our TV, you know what I'm saying? They watch our social media, they pay attention to our fashion. So like America, like, and then like America is like the protector for a lot of people. It's a bully for a lot of other people's too. But I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. I know I don't owe any of you guys an apology because I'm not doing this shit, but for everybody on here who's watching my stream and who watches my channel, and America is a country that bullies you, I apologize for that shit because I see both sides, you know. But I mean, I love where I'm at. I'm not gonna complain about
earlier
America.
today, I set my VPN to another country. I set it to Armenia, and I was just browsing around the internet like I normally do, and I started watching news reports. And man, when it comes to international policy, the stuff that other countries focus on that looks like the big issue of the time be completely different sets of issues. And earlier today, just watching just random news reports from Australia by way of Armenia was blowing my fucking mind.
So think about it like this, bro. We live in America, and a lot of the issues that we have. So to some people, abortion is the biggest topic. And so I don't have a problem telling my opinion, speaking what I feel. I feel like a woman should be able to do whatever they want to do. I would never tell a woman to have an abortion. But if that's what she wants to do, I feel like she should have the power to do that shit. So that's where I
Somebody
stand.
tried to get me to sign some shit while I was out skating earlier today to further restrict abortion rights. I told him to get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit.
Now, here's what I'm getting at, though. This isn't going to go into an abortion conversation, but that's the most important issue to some people in the United States. And then to some other people in the United States, taxes is the most important issue, right? And then there's some other people who live in like fucking Florida, and they're talking about immigration laws. So when you think about how fundamentally different all three of those things are, you'll understand why when you watch another channel and you watch some other shit on TV and news, why what's most important in France is different. It's no different in America. We just have different issues. The most important issues are very far off from each other. None of them are close to each other.
Check this shit out. You remember that movie back in the day about Bruce Lee, where it had his son playing him, and it showed how the Chinese authorities like caught up with him for teaching kung fu and all that shit. Remember that?
Was that Chinese? That wasn't Chinese Connection. What movie was that?
That was it was called Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Okay. Oh yeah. And it was a Tommy Lee Dragon.
Right, and they was talking about how back in the day when he was in San Francisco teaching kung fu, the Chinese authorities caught up with him in San Francisco, made him fight homeboy. Remember all that part?
Yeah.
Right? So this is some shit that we've known about for a long time. It's been just some shit, pop culture shit, right? I was watching news reports earlier today, and in Australia, they got a whole big thing going on about China having unofficial fucking police stations in other countries, policing Chinese citizens without the country's permission. And this some shit. As soon as I heard that shit, I was like, "Oh yeah, they did that. They caught up with Bruce Lee in San Francisco back in the 70s."
Yeah, I believe that because that's the kind of shit that America does, except for the only difference is we do it and we just tell you, hey, we're setting up a base here. Because I think they say that there's over 8,000 U.S. military bases all throughout the world. Yeah. Bro, think about that shit. There's not even.
But those are all sanctioned by the countries that they're in one way or another.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What they tripping about in Australia right now is that China got like 100 and some unofficial underground police stations in countries all over the world.
Fuck that. We're not gonna do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm one for like having like a good opinion and like a fair opinion. Bro, America forces their hand in everywhere. But
that's why I said it one way or another.
But I watch a lot of content from other content creators around the world. And some people are like in Great Britain, a lot of people are like, thank you, America, because without y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
let me cook. So without y'all, we probably be part of Germany right now, you know? So like there's other company, there's a bunch of countries that fuck with America, but there's a lot of countries that don't fuck with America, which is it's weird because America's like assholes. Like we're like the big homie. That's what America is. Like when America got brought into the scene, if Japan didn't fuck up, Japan fucked the world up. Honestly, if Japan never bombed fucking the islands over in Hawaii in World War II, America never gets involved in any fucking in any world events because America didn't want to get into wars. We were a country that wanted to focus on industrial shit, movie productions, you know, entertainment and shit. But America didn't want to get involved at all in any wars, and that's documented. Like World War I, we didn't want to get in that shit. We didn't want to get in any wars. We only got into wars when people came and attacked us. This is pre World War II. Because now we're not the same. America getting in everything. America about to act a fucking donkey. You know what I'm saying? Like a war? Huh? Can we get in that shit for a second? Yeah. Well, what's going on? That's how America is, right? But when World War II was going on, America didn't want to get in a war, and they stayed all the way out of the shit until Japan bombed America. And then America was like, no, fuck this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna fuck with us. And so then we developed the nuclear weapon, the nuclear bomb, in like a few months, and we dropped that shit on Japan, and then we fucking decimated Japan. Like we fucking destroyed 60% of this. We was like, fuck that. And from that point on, people were like, oh shit, we're not gonna fuck with America because America's a bunch of people's little brothers who are fucking hostile as fuck, who will fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna fuck with America. And so like we from there, we ended up taking over, and you know what I'm saying, NATO and all that other shit. But that's where America ended up taking over, was at the end of World War II. That's when America fucking took over. And so Americans are wild. Like we're not, most other people avoid people, or they stay away from people, or they don't be all up in people's face and shit. But if I was walking down the street and you were walking down the street and I seen you and you see me and we didn't know each other, I would still talk to you like I fucking knew you. You know what I'm saying? Like we would have a conversation.
Did you see that show that recently came out that's based on the video game? You know what I'm talking about? Bruh. I think it's Borderlands. Ain't that the one that just recently came out?
I know what Borderlands is. Y'all think I'm joking? I'm about to still be pulling fucking egg rolls out of nowhere. I mean, I still got egg rolls to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that sounds fire.
Sorry.
But yeah, it was a scene where two groups of two motherfuckers spotted each other crossing each other's paths, and it was a whole scene. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that shit and was like, yeah.
Niles said Fallout.
Is it Fallout? Maybe that's what it was. Fallout, yeah. Not Borderlands, Fallout.
When I tell y'all dope shit about life, like this fucking this Native Instruments Control S61. This shit's the most fire keyboard I ever had in my life. Because I'm just looking at it right now. And bro,
I wanted them to put pads on a keyboard for real.
Yo, okay. I don't disagree with you. But here's what I'm trying to get my camera straight. Here's what hold on one second. I'm still here though. I just had to
like I felt like they was poised to really do something up against the MPC Key 61 and the new Key 37, which is killing the game, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Which I might actually fucking get. Like, while I'm bullshitting, I might go get one of those and have it replace all 4 of the fucking keyboards I got in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because, nigga, that shit is nuts. And I don't really need another sampler. You know what I'm saying? Like, sampling into the DAW is the best shit ever. I do not need no external sampler. None of that shit is going to compete with the fucking, what is that shit called in Studio One? the fucking sample XT or whatever the fuck. That shit is the craziest sampler I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Sampling into that shit from anything is a breeze. And the fact that the Arturia Audio Fuse Studio has a Bluetooth connection that routes directly into channel 7 and 8, that means I can literally be in my iPad going through fucking public domain music, digging for samples, and literally sample that shit right into the DAW and play with that shit, flip it around, time stretch it, any kind of man.
See, I don't have an iPad or a tablet, so I don't really make music off my phone. But I'm more of I'm a little older than you. I'm a few years older than you, and so like I'm like I'm still more of a computer guy, and I don't mean a few years older than you like as an insult. Like I think once you get I think like once you get like if I'm 45 and somebody's 35, I just consider us the same age grade, group, So I don't mean like
45.
I know I'm 43.
I'm 41.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I said I'm a few years older than you, bro. I know.
But no, look, that iPad shit is the only reason I even own Apple devices. I own 2 iPads, and it's for a very good reason. It's because the apps that they have on that shit are genuinely fucking pro audio apps. Fucking MPC.
Throw one in the chat if you're in here. I don't even know who's in here. I know there's only a few of y'all here, but
fucking MPC got a series of apps that's crazy. Studio One got an app. Aria is the craziest mobile DAW I've ever seen. I've literally recorded niggas' albums in that shit. And Final Touch Pro is a full-featured mastering suite that functions inside of iOS. It's nuts. And Tabletop can connect all that shit together within the ecosystem. And all I need, and then BeatHawk. How could I forget BeatHawk is the illest fucking production app I've ever seen. And so I can literally produce out a whole composition in my headphones, because the iPad also has a tremendous headphone output, the old ones that have it. You know what I'm saying?
I would believe that because I have a MacBook, and so I know how good
right. And so look, I can go, not only can I produce a full composition that I can just literally stream into my DAW later, but I've literally sat on the beach in some mastering headphones and mastered albums for people in Final Touch on the iPad. You know what I'm saying? That shit is nuts. And when you have a full studio and you just use that as an augment, like that's mainly what I sample from when I sample, is I just pull up whatever I need right on the iPad, public domain, get something that sound like what I want, Bluetooth that shit right in, and it's right there to play with any kind of way I want to play with it. Send that shit through the LA2A, fatten it up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's one thing to like be rooted in like the tenets of recording, right? You know what I'm saying? My homie just let me borrow the old textbook on recording techniques that I'm about to dig into. But at the same time, man, the technology with this new floating point shit, especially, oh my God. Nigga, this storm is making sounds outside that I do not like.
You said the storm outside.
Real shit. I keep thinking it's a nigga right here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It might be. If it is, nice knowing y'all. I hope it ain't though. I got some shit to do tomorrow.
Yo, if I can't explain life, like, you know what I'm saying? There's some things I just can't explain, and I can't say this shit on stream because it's like it's gonna make me look a certain way, and I don't want to look a certain way. But I can't explain life, like, yo, It's fucked up that not everybody gets to live the same life. It's fucked up that not everybody gets to enjoy some of the same experiences other people do. But sometimes you go through some experiences that be so fucking dope, and it's like you just look at your phone and it's like, like that's the reaction. It's like that's what you want to do. You want to laugh because it's like I don't understand how I became a person who gets to have these experiences, but I'm going through a great experience right now, and I can't even talk about the shit because it would be disrespectful to the person that I'm going through the experience with. But like, nigga,
Sometimes you just gotta let it glow on you.
This experience that I'm having right now at this moment is fire. Eventually, you guys, I'll say some shit. You know what I'm saying? I can always say some shit in the future. Because there'll be embargoes and fucking maybe all kinds of shit. But it might not even be about a company. It might be about some other shit.
Sometimes you just gotta wear it shine. You know what I mean? You gotta tell nigga, just wear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me stop. I gotta stop because
you know what I'm saying.
I never know who watches my channel.
Yeah, just wear it. You know what I'm saying? Barbecue chicken.
Yo, but bro, I'm going through some great shit right now.
Man, it's always supposed to be something still inside your sleep. You know what I mean? Always.
So let's talk about this list, I guess, a little bit more. We barely talked about it.
Right. We didn't get too far because it's so fucking terrible.
I'm cool with this conversation that we've had, though. Like, obviously, I haven't stopped it for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you already know I'm probably not going to be stopping it anyway because we're like, this is my real life homie. This is my nigga. So we can just go and chop it up anyway about whatever. But I figured some of these conversations just would be cool too for y'all because it's just some niggas that have done some shit in music talking, Again,
You want to know what's funny? My reference track is off of Equipment. My reference track that I use to tune my studio is Mamacita off of Equipment.
See, that's a fire track. Hey, yo, Equipment, let me go back to this view for just 1 second. I was about to start talking about this music. Well, I guess we can go here for the music shit.
Because if you don't have your studio tuned right, the kick drum on Mamacita will be just all the way wrong.
Bro, niggas can't tell me. Niggas can't tell me that Equipment is not a better fucking CD than Good Kid, Mad City. Like,
it definitely is. Equipment is worlds better than that shit.
Yeah, I won't even I don't even want to entertain that kind of conversation. Like,
not for a minute.
I like Kendrick. I fuck with that nigga. I really fuck with whatever that song is.
I don't so much, but yeah. Equipment is a masterwork. That shit is crazy. That's a genuine 5-mic album. Like,
what's that?
That shit was nuts when it dropped too.
Yeah,
crazy.
And Equipment is just it's such a good album. It's such a good body of work. What's up, Easy? Easy Money on the track. It's such a good album, from start to finish. Like it's like there's no skips on that album, and so
anything.
If you skip anything, you're fucking.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. Give me a second. No, I can't think of.
That's the same with AT Aliens. Outkast has 2 albums that have no skips. They have.
Let me think for a second. Do I skip anything at all on AT Aliens?
No, because when it gets into the middle of the CD, the shit gets thick, and that's just when it comes with like tracks. Like the track listing on that shit is phenomenal.
Every once in a while, I might not be in the mood to hear Wheels of Steel.
See, I can't fuck with that shit because that's my favorite song on the whole CD, bro. I mean,
I
I'm saying
listen to it most times, but sometimes I'm not in the mood to hear that track. But other than that,
nothing rapping on that track though, bro. They be rapping.
no, no, it's a fantastic song, but I don't know. It's something about the vibe of that one. I'm just not always in the mood for a track that, you know what I'm saying?
The track's a double entendre, so the niggas aren't
Well,
really.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. So once you understand that shit, it makes the track even much better
No,
because
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I'm just not always ready for that mode of a song. Like it's not so much about what it's about or nothing. It's just it's got a kind of a rolling vibe to it that I'm just not always in the mood for.
yo. Niall said if you skip Wheels and Stills, I have to question your hip hop. Nah, he's a hip hopper. He's a hip
I mean,
hopper.
it is what it is. And like I said, I don't often skip it, but I can think that I have skipped that song before. I'm not going front.
Yeah, for me, that's probably my favorite song because I
My
get
favorite song on my favorite song on AT Aliens is probably gonna have to be Over the Woods.
that's a fire song.
That's probably gotta be it for me on that album. It's a close though because it's a few songs on that joint that are just oh, like
But
how can a song be better than that?
the thing about
But
here's my thing about AT
I'm gonna
Aliens.
say Over the Woods is probably top for me.
So here's my thing about AT Aliens. I look at it different than I look at Equimini because I think that on Equimini, if I was to start picking which like the song is the best in comparison.
Oh, I got a favorite of Equimini. Easy.
But I would think that I could probably pick my favorite two songs on Equimini are probably going to be I'm going to like them more than AT Aliens. But AT Aliens is a smooth listen. So it's like you just put in and then you don't got to fucking change no. It's just a smooth listen from the start to the end. And Equimini is another CD that you have no skips. But AT Aliens,
I don't think it's none.
I think AT Aliens is a better. I think it's a better overall listen. But I think when we're coming to like the best songs of the two, they come from.
Oh no, but my favorite song of both of those albums easily is "Return of the G."
It's the Return of the Gangsta, Return of the Gangsta. Yeah. Yo, Andre
Easily that.
can sing now, and he doesn't get his props for that either.
Because man, damn. Them niggas that's on that blow that run up in your crib, which contains your lady and an 8-month-old child to raise, but you true blue block this music, but they do not want to hear it because they rather be bouncing and shooting and killing and bouncing and shit. Get down. Bruh. The callbacks,
Yo, but see, here's why I like Outkast. Because Outkast has always made music that is really realistically woke music, you know? And so I'm not talking about like 2024 woke. I'm talking about like 2012 woke. You know what I'm saying? When people weren't woke, you know? And so Outkast has always made that kind of music for a nigga who's kind of woke a little bit. I like Outkast the most.
That nigga said,
when they make.
Let's talk about time traveling, rhyme javeling, something mind unraveling. Get down.
I like Outkast the most when they are doing commercial tracks with positive messages. And the reason why I
like Rosa Parks,
all that shit. Well,
I love that shit.
Run that back. That's not one of my favorite songs. I don't know about it. It's a good
song.
That one
grew on me after a while. I will say I didn't really like it at first, but it grew on me pretty quick. And I was gigging with everybody with that one.
It's a good song, but that's not one of my ones, you know. But what I'm saying is like all their songs, Jazzy Belle, everything has a message behind it.
I love Jazzy Belle.
Yeah, that's the first song I ever rapped to. That's like the first song I ever freestyled to. But like those songs
ain't that the one that start off with him going in almost a cappella?
So kind of. But what I was gonna say, let me get this off. So what I think is dope about Outkast is that they could portray a message, but they could still put out a commercial track. So the track's commercial, but it's got a message. If you like actually listen to the words behind the song, they're telling you, hey, black people do better, you know? And so like I feel like that's one reason why I will always love Outkast and their music and Andre and all those niggas, because they were always more on a consistent level of, hey niggas, we can do better as a community. You know what I'm saying? But they're just saying that shit through the message that they're portraying.
Which one is when he came in saying, I came into this world high as a bird, off secondhand cocaine powder. I know it sounds absurd. I never toot it, but it's my veins, while the rest of the country binges off bridges without no snapback and bitches. They say they need that to shake their panties and be ass love. Go the other route, turn each other out, burn each other out. Where a bona fide nigga like me can't even get no back rub these things. And that bleep on their part, hold it down because they shut you down when you speak from your heart. Now that's hard. While we ranting and raving about gas, they ain't made them gas. They got some shit that'll blow out our back from where they stay at.
Yeah. I know the song, but I can't remember the name of the song, but I remember
I feel the battle just begun. Ooh, going here. Someday we will be going so hoping.
But that's what nigga, nobody else was making music like, bro, nobody else was making music like that. And so that's why Outkast will forever be the hardest rap duo of all time.
That shit was so hard.
Nobody made fucking music like that, bro. Like,
so hard.
I was outside, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was young, but I was outside when that shit was coming out. Music was coming out, and
nigga, I was in this little juvie group home when that shit dropped, and that shit got smuggled in, taped under a drawer, my nigga.
Let's get back to what got us here. So what's got it here is that Good Kid, Mad City is not better than either one of those fucking albums, bro.
No way.
Like it's not there's not a day on earth that CD is better than either one of those albums. Like I remember moments that life, those albums, I have moments of life. And then I go back to where I was talking about the Kanye shit earlier. Okay. I give you when I'm talking about Kanye, I'm not thinking about Kanye from a perspective of he's the dopest rapper of all time. I'm just thinking about his collective of musics. And so earlier, I got to get this off because this is where we stop for a second. Bro, College Dropout has these songs that roll like this. It's the intro, it's We Don't Care, and then it's Graduation Day. Both them songs are straight. Then it goes into All Falls Down, which is fire. I'll Fall Away, which is fire. Spaceship, which is insane. Spaceships is dope, nigga.
That was a skip for me.
Not for me.
With the 2-3 times signature, you got to do that a certain kind of way, and that was a skip for me. Nas had a 2-3 skip for me like that too on an album, so I ain't gonna hold it that much against him.
Okay, I'll give you that. That was a skip for me. This is what I said also. There's 21 songs, so I get that if there's a few skips, it's different. You know, I get that. You know, but then you got Jesus
I'm with you so far though.
Then you got Jesus Walks, right?
Crazy.
You got Never Let Me Down, which is straight. It's not crazy. Good. It's straight. Yeah. Everybody's gonna feel different about their shits. For me, that's just straight. So
really, honestly, it was really only 2 skips on that for me. Bro, everything else on that was a good song for me.
Okay, so listen to what I'm saying. There's 21 songs on this album.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah. So if there's 21 songs on an album and there's 2 skips, most albums that have 13 fucking tracks don't have fucking not one skip, you know?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not trying to take nothing away from the body of work that it is, but on no one of those 22 songs or 21 songs was he rapping at a high level. He was rapping good enough for those songs to be great songs, and that's why I like it. But he was never once rapping at a high level. And so I can't put that album above niggas who do regularly.
But see, that's what I don't think is fair, is because what I think about Kanye, when you talk about him rapping, is that he was never supposed to be the GOAT. He was never supposed to be the greatest lyricist. It's about music. And I think that matters, bro. Like if you
it's a great backstory.
No, what I'm saying is this: like hip hop is more than just bars. There's different elements, and so like like there's beatboxing, DJing, producing / that's one element.
Right.
There's graffiti.
And so you got Kanye doing everything at a high level.
Everything, bro.
Except for that one thing. But it's other artists who do everything at a high level.
But he was never trying to deliver you the most dopest fucking bars. He wasn't trying to be the
I never needed him to. And the album stands for what it is. But it still doesn't, nothing about his backstory or his intentions put him above somebody who raps better.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can't say that this album isn't great as far as a musical masterpiece from.
I never said it wasn't.
Here's how I think about the shit, right? Because I just, from my perspective as somebody, and this should be, I don't understand why this isn't your fucking perspective either, nigga, because you make beats and shit.
Right. But right? I also rap at a high level.
So I don't rap at a higher level?
I'm talking about compared to Kanye.
I don't rap at a high level?
I wasn't comparing to you. I was talking about compared to Kanye. Nigga, you drunk.
I'm asking you a question. I don't rap at a high level?
Don't you? Why are you asking me?
I want your answer.
Well, we've been talking about you rapping for about the last 30 years. And you drunk.
No, you could have just said
conversation.
Yes. No, you could have just said look. Because it was a setup. It was a setup. I wanted you to just be like, yes. And so I could be like, okay, so yes, from a nigga, who has bars and who be rapping.
Well, yeah, but all the stuff you're talking about is giving this nigga excuses for not rapping at a higher level.
No. I think what we're missing in this conversation is that this conversation isn't about who's the dopest rapper. It's about the top 10 albums and the best music.
Right. And so what I'm saying is that's the one thing about that album that keeps it out of that conversation for me, because he did everything else flawless.
Bro, I almost just broke a keyboard.
Because everybody else in my top 10 has all of those things done flawlessly, including rapping at a high level and masterful production and fucking subject matter and fucking gut-wrenching topics that take you through emotions.
They didn't do the production though.
Doesn't fucking matter.
It does.
We talk about the quality of the album.
Yeah, because
some of them niggas did.
Who?
It's a Mobb Deep album in that motherfucker. It's called Infamy.
Infamy doesn't have a CD that's in the fucking top 10 of all time.
You crazy. Infamy is nuts. Go listen to it.
What CD?
Infamy. It's called Infamy by Mobb Deep. The song is the album that had murder music on it.
Yeah, because that's that. No. I think, what is it? Hell is it?
It's the real shit to make you feel shit, jumping in the club shit, have you wilding out when you bump this, drugs to your eardrum, the raw uncut, have a nigga OD because it's never enough. It's the real that shit.
I remember that. I had the CD, obviously.
Remember, Get Away. Sometimes I feel like gotta get away.
I
like a fame from crack. Ain't no holding me back. Get rid of this gap. Dog, I flew.
I'll stand on this ledge though, by myself. I know nobody in the chat's gonna stand on this ledge with me, but I feel like Capone and Noriega's first CD was better.
The War Report. Another one.
I don't think that Mobb Deep had a better CD than the War Report. And
Shit. Mobb Deep had 4 better CDs than the War Report.
I don't think that Mobb Deep had a better song than fucking God damn it. I just had the song stuck in my head. That's why I've been thinking about this shit the whole time. But
and don't get me wrong, my personal anthem, the song that plays in my head when I walk into a club is a Nori song. But it's not off the War Report.
It's probably what?
Nah, it's Homeboy. I came to party. No girl was looking at me.
Hey.
See the haggler? No, I'm not tagging her, but you don't want the boys to come over and start asking you. what you trying to do, nigga? Not what you want to do, nigga. That shit play in my head every time I step into a party. It's either that or the Mace song. Why you over here looking at me? Why my girl standing here? do my anthems that be playing in my head when I'm going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But no, Mobb Deep got at least 4 albums better than the War Report. At least 4. And the one I was just talking about is a shining example of that. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy solo joint HNIC is another one.
Yo, I promise y'all, there's a day I'm gonna introduce more to my life than I do. My life is wild, my nigga. My life is wild, my boy. My shit is wild. And like,
man,
I wish I could get my shit. I wish I could get my shit more stable. I be trying, but the more stable I try to get my shit, the more wild my shit gets. And I just be like, I don't fucking understand why God, why you do me like this, bro? Like, you know, I be having too much fun, man. I don't be wanting to have this much fun. I literally don't want to have this much fun because I be fucking up. I be fucking up every day. I got a video that I should have recorded 2 days ago. I ain't recorded yet because.
Do you remember On Top of the World from 8Ball and MJG? Do you remember that when that album came out?
What's that?
Do you remember when 8Ball and MJG dropped On Top of the World?
Yeah, but I don't like talking about 8Ball and MJG in these hip hop conversations.
Man, but that album,
it was all right. They never dropped an album that I was like, because I bought probably 6 8Ball and MJG albums.
But that one was special.
It was all right. It was all right. It was all right.
Space Age Pimpin', was it your shit?
It was all right. It was all right.
Okay, so when 8Ball came out with Lost a few years later and changed the game, would you agree that that album was one of the greatest albums of all time hip hop albums ever? Lost, the triple CD, the 8Ball drop, that was fucking crazy. That motherfucker got one skip on it for me.
It was all right, bro. It was just all right for me. You know, like I fuck with those niggas. Like, I think you need to understand, like, you know,
man,
I fuck with UGK. I fuck with Scarface. I fuck with everybody from Texas.
You don't remember Before and After Me, the artist always pays the price?
Just all right, bro.
Or Common Sense better tell you to grind and hustle. Hit the streets like a man. Use your mind and muscle. We be all about the stream. We be all about the cream. Living space age fantasies. Trying to make my wallet green as a canopy. We be the niggas hoes brag to their friends about. Tell them hoes how we beat that pussy inside out. Give me the money and the hoes and the good weed and the mic so I can practice killing MCs. Dark dreams still come back in full color, fire and thick smoke, choking motherfuckers. I'm probably getting this shit all out of order, but man, that shit was nuts. Who is the mad one? Who is the mad one? Who is truly insane? Or my homeboy's girlfriend? Oh, what am I supposed to do when I'm taking a chance fucking with you? Now, if someone found out about us, then someone is gonna get fucked up. My homeboy's girlfriend. That's that you talked about storytelling. That's one of the illest storytelling songs in hip hop. My homeboy's girlfriend. I can barely listen to this shit now because I done been cheated on before, and that shit's so vivid to get the trigger and shit. Like, nigga, but nigga, that shit is nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only storytelling song I would say that's probably significantly iller than that outside of Slick Rick is probably that Immortal Technique shit. Dance with the Devil. Remember that?
You Slick Rick?
No, Dance with the Devil from Immortal Technique. Because when we talk about storytelling rap, we gotta exclude Slick Rick. We'll be here all night. You know what I'm saying? But no, Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil. I was just telling my mother about that song last night. You know what I'm saying? That's gotta be the most vivid, shocking, jarring storytelling song ever in hip hop.
Now, you know what? Here's what I'll say. When it comes to storytelling and rappers, it's depending on the style.
I mean, outside of Slick Rick.
It's all about the style of storytelling that you like. Like, I think that the most, as nasty as this is going to sound, this is probably going to make me look fucking wild, but not really, because hip hop heads are really.
Oh, wow. It can't be that crazy.
The nigga I think who has done the greatest job of storytelling, and it's nasty, but it's Brother Lynch Hung. Nobody
song?
Every song. Like,
nobody. That one song that I will agree is a very, I got that nigga for about 4 zones.
Nobody tells a better.
Had to get dirty. Left him in his driveway soaking wet. Sold the 6-4. Couldn't keep it no more. That motherfucker was filthy. More dead bodies have been in that trunk than the cemetery and the mortuary. Had a bullet hole by the gas tank. For $1,500 in the bank. Drink a bitch for 18 and spent 300 lashes on some dank. Shot to my brother's house and got them niggas high. It was the man claiming 3 deep in them niggas sex. We was off that chocolate tie. And all this time that 187 was on my mind. Shot the man in cold blood. Knew his mama saw the drive-by. Design. And ain't no TV till you see me on America's Most Wanted fucked up getting snatched out my TP. Nigga, we in the back of a 69 cut. And it's all foggy. Paranoid and got me on my strap, and I'm a fiend for raw meat. They say all niggas talk about is murdering and getting high. The situation getting real ill. I got the head mine. Woo! Bruh, when that shit dropped, I lost my fucking mind. I probably listened to that song about 1 billion times, back to back.
I've listened to so much Lynch in my day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's like
I have to agree with you. He's one of the greatest storytellers in hip hop history. I have to agree with you.
He doesn't get
that shit used to be crazy.
He doesn't get the props that because he tells a lot of like gruesome ass stories, you know. Like,
but he does it with a command of the English language that's rare.
Yo, that nigga, he has so many fire tracks.
Because that's one of my favorite non-GoldenEye verses that I love spitting that verse. It's not a whole lot of other niggas' verses that I really enjoy spitting. That's one of them. I love that verse.
Here's why I like Brother Lynch Hung, right? So, you know, when you're listening to people's music, you go to them for some shit. When I listen to Brother Lynch Hung, I have never gone to this nigga because I thought he was even kind of lyrical, right? Like,
no?
He's lyrical because he's
super lyrical.
Stop. Let me go. Let me cook. So I don't go to him because he's lyrical. I go to him because I can sit back and I can listen to what he's saying and I can get into his story in his world and I can see a story. Now, that doesn't mean he's not lyrical, because obviously the way that he raps, like, he has a specific cadence that's like, you know, like
that.
Yeah. He's got a cadence that's of him. So, you know, when Brother Lynch is rapping, you know who the fuck you're hearing. Like, you know, he's going to put together a lot of syllables. He's going to put together verses on top of this story that he's telling you. And that's why he's dope as a lyricist. So I don't want to disrespect that part, my boy. I think that he is a top tier lyricist, but we're just talking about storytellers right now. And when it comes to storytellers, part of this, what makes him super dope as a storyteller too, is because the way he puts together stories. Like, dude,
definitely. Like, Brother Lynch stories
is fucking insane.
I've definitely taken cues from what he has shown can be done with telling story and rhyme, and still keeping hold of a lot of that MC technical shit that we be wanting to still do. Like, he was one of the few MCs that could tell you a story and still keep the bars and the entendre and the syllable work and everything still intact and still make the story super vivid. Like, not a lot of MCs did that. You know what I'm saying? And that verse I just quoted of him is such a beautiful example of that, because just repeating that verse, you can see that it's like not every MC can just fire that one off. You know what I'm saying?
But here's my thing about Brother Lynch is that I don't know how to put this, because I'm not trying to sound disrespectful in any way. Obviously, I'm shouting the nigga out if I think that he's like, and for me, the greatest storyteller. It's not like that he has the dopest verses. It's how his whole song is put together. It's the whole body of work, which makes it, you know what I'm saying? Like, which makes him dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like his whole swag, like his whole getting on the track and talking at the beginning, and then like, you know, getting on to whatever, one more pound of smoke or whatever it is that we're fucking listening to. You know what I'm saying? From him, they call me double agent, double O dudes, 4 block. I got that 9mm Glock. I'm ready to put one to you. That's not a storytelling song, but that is one of my favorite songs of all time. That song.
I've always enjoyed his cadences because he always was on some very, very, very much MC shit with his cadences. And I didn't used to realize how important that was to me until later on in the game, when a lot of motherfuckers started coming out with shit that where they disregarded that part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I realized, like, yeah, I am super duper into bars, but if you say that shit to me with a whack cadence, I am gonna be less impressed. You know what I'm saying? And Brother Lynch was somebody that it didn't matter what he was saying, I was going to enjoy the way he was coming across with, because he always chose cadences that were like coincidentally fucking favorites of mine. Like from the first time I heard him do that little on beat, off beat thing that so many people fuck up so often, you know what I'm saying? I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I loved it to the point where years later, when I ran across an MC, the likes of a Sir Scrappy, who is another MC that I feel does that on beat, off beat thing amazing. I was just talking to him about that the other day, about one thing that I took from both of those gentlemen is always knowing where my word is at. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be able to ride the beat, right? Any reasonably dope MC can ride the beat. But can you place a word somewhere and remember where you put it, even if it's not on the 1, the 2, the 3, or the 4? And that's one of the things I got from them two gentlemen, is always knowing where my word is at. Because if it gives you, it opens up the rest of the measure for you. If you know you can put a syllable right here, and you in your mind can know that it's right here, even if it's not on any particular beat, but you remember, I put that word there because I wanted that word right the fuck there. And every time I spit this verse, that word goes the fuck right there. You know what I'm saying? And then the next word after it catches back the beat, and you good at that on and again, off again shit, to where you're never losing it. I borrowed heavily from both of them gentlemen when it comes to doing that shit. And man, it's a wonderful technique to hear when it's done right, but people fuck it up. Oh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Well, shit. I'm about to get up off the stream because it's like 1:20 over here. I got to get up at 6 and record a video.
Yeah, we had three and a half hours. I appreciate you bringing me on, man, and let me talk this hip hop shit with you, man. This is gonna be a stream. I'm gonna go back and rewatch this shit.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like you already know, like we can do this often, like, because again, it's like if I'm not doing shit, I'm always down to get online and stream and just chop it up and do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't, niggas ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck, if we gonna talk on IG or Facebook, let's just go ahead and take that conversation to Instagram and we can just chop it up. So
hell yeah, for sure, yeah. Fuck with me tomorrow, man. If you got some time, I'm just be. This is a 3-day weekend for me. I'm gonna get some barbecue.
Yeah, I got a stream tomorrow. But hop into the stream. Let's listen to your music stream.
And I'm gonna try to get you up and get you in touch with Low too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a wild connection.
All right. Bet.
All right, fam.
All right, bro.
One time.
Peace. All right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess if you've been in here the whole time, I always say you can ask me some questions at the end of the stream before I log off because, you know, you've been hanging out, you know. If you don't have any questions, you know what I'm saying, let me know. If not, I'm about to, you know what I'm saying, back up out of here and get to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally about to go to bed. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, you thinking something else is going to happen? No, thinking something else is going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. I'm going to bed. Something happen tomorrow, though. But tonight, I'm about to go to bed, you know, so storytelling. Oh, he was talking about earlier. I'm just seeing that message. God, I wish I had another beer. If I had another beer, I would stay on stream a little bit longer. But I'm not going to the store. So that's not an option. The fact that I have so many food containers in this room right now is kind of disjointing right now as well. I'm like looking around, I was like, a lot of food cartridges right here. I don't like my studio looking like this. That's all from this afternoon. All right. I guess nobody wants to ask no questions. So I'm out this bitch. I appreciate y'all as always. And I will holler at y'all. And the next one. Peace.